right, streaming. Savvy. Start this. All right. Is it terribly loud in the living room? With the evap on in there, play?
Yeah.
It's loud in here too. It's good. It's the summer in Arizona. It's going to be loud for the next couple podcasts.
Until we can get a remote session set up at Karchner's Caverns.
Down in the bowels. You stop. Stop
We
headbutting me.
then they can watch us broadcasting in parkas from the middle of Arizona summer and, 150 feet below grade.
Yeah. A lot of people have what's called a religious experience doing in different places and visiting different places. But for me, Karchner's Caverns was a religious experience. Hey! We were just about to start. I'm glad you made it. Cat butt. 100% pure cat butt. You're still muted. Jingo? I apologize. We're going to have a bit of technical difficulties because, well, it's 90 degrees outside in Arizona, and my AC unit, after 22 years of blissful service, crapped out. Which, if you live in Arizona and the Phoenix area or surrounding metropolitan sprawl, you'll know that it gets up to about 120 sometimes in the Arizona summer, and, well, it's the high price we pay for never, ever, ever having to shovel snow. I didn't even know that people put sandwich plastic bread bags in their boots until I was like, 10 or 11. Really? That's a thing? Don't throw the bag of the Wonder Bread away. Why? I'm going to wear it later. What? Or the best part about one of the first couple years I did at the Renaissance Festival was the first year was very cold, and then after that it got warm. But you had all these people from Minnesota and Michigan and Wisconsin, and we would be in Arizona, we'd be like, we have to go get ice. And they're like, why would you? Oh, that's right, it's hot here. Because that's not something they think about from September on? They just put it in the fucking snow.
Yep. They think, 90 degrees and 90% humidity, that's hot. No. When you're sitting here in the middle of July and August, and it's 115 and raining, that's when it's miserable.
That part sucks. Well, it's that buildup before the monsoon, and then the monsoon is like a pop zit. It's just like, thank you. It finally releases all the pressure that all of us. Now, I'm lucky enough to be a migraine sufferer, but I do not get the barometric pressure in my head. I feel it creeping up the back of my neck, but it is not the same as friends of mine that get migraines. Like, not Amanda. I have like.
The mini bike murder cycle squad is going back and forth.
Another dimension just demanded something. Not sure what yet.
That's right. I'm waiting for Buckaroo to come in the door and ask me if I can help him with some directions.
Everybody needs to see Buckaroo Banzai. Jingo, are you with us? Jingo, can you hear? Oh, there he is. Still muted.
This is our seance.
Hope your birthday was awesome. Happy belated birthday. Did you want to do the intro? I did it last time. Can you hear us? Jingo? He's got the thing with the...
Oh, there I am.
Oh,
Sorry.
We've been talking to you this whole time.
In Discord, I was muted.
Okay.
I was still getting everything started.
How are you feeling? You feeling good? Did you want to do the intro? Do you want me to do it?
You go ahead and do it. I'm having a lumpy day.
Okay, I got you. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle the Great, King of Fools, Lord of Idiots, and also King of Ham, peasant hero and all-around giant pain in the ass. And with me on the council tonight for episode 69, I have...
Jingo the Fool, Game Master over at the Ship of Fools, and random other places.
I am Phoenix made of clay on YouTube. Shout out to anybody. Okay?
And I'm Rob the Blacksmith, resident cigar smoker, and very happy to contribute to the delinquency of adults.
We are your humble and formidable council. That covers both bases, really. That's good. And, let's get this out of the way quick. It's May 19th, 2026 for the future. Plant Something Day. 2 thumbs way up. Love this idea. I've had to do landscaping as a career and everything. I hate landscaping. I mean, the maintaining of it, not the let's transform this yard part of it, but the upkeep. But gardening is something I'm actually quite passionate about. So is Rob. Jingo, clay, gardening, landscaping?
Not so much. I did some gardening, and I've got a brown thumb.
Clay?
I love to garden. I'm a big fan of growing tomatoes.
They're very fun. Also, on the 19th, Malcolm X Day. Dementia Action Week. Oh, somebody have something to say about Malcolm X? Okay. Dementia Action Week. National May Ray Day. What the hell is May Ray Day? That's what the calendar allowed everyone to enjoy the sunshine. Get your vitamin D in. And last, there's more. National Devil's Food Cake Day. Yeah.
Oh my.
National Barber Mental Awareness Day. This week from the 17th to the 23rd is National EMS Week. So your medical emergency staff, always thank them. Andy, who is an honorary council member, he's really super busy. Just talked to him the other day. Andy is how I met Ed. Andy used to be my neighbor, and Andy and Ed worked together, and they became friends, and then we became friends, and it's just easier when everybody's friends. 18 to the 22nd, Walk to School Week in the UK. Okay. And National Safe Sun Week. That rounds out being around the 19th. All right. Yeah, no, the curtain rods look very good. I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, Rob, but I've been following your progress. I reposted it on our Facebook.
I'm hoping I can deliver them on Thursday night when I go to the state of the meeting for the Scottish Rite.
I'm terribly sorry.
Give them
That was me. Sorry about that. You're going to give them to the Scottish Rite on Thursday, you said?
Yep, I want to have them done so I can deliver them on Thursday night.
Awesome. Right on. Yeah, they look sharp. They look very good. Check him out. Go to his Facebook page. We keep urging him to get a YouTube. One day we'll win, or we'll end up just maintaining it for him, whatever happens first. We are going to be playing Castles and Crusaders this Saturday at Ed's house over in the Scottsdale northeast Phoenix area. So that's going to start at what, 8? Ed's all excited. He's been talking about, I'm going to make chicken wings for the potluck. I'm just going to get snacks, but okay. Kind of broke right now.
I had left sausages and burgers that we didn't use at the last one. Are they still in Antonio's freezer, or are they in yours, Rob?
I don't believe they're in mine. We'd have to check with Antonio.
All right. He will be there, right?
I believe so. We'll have to put it out on the communication, make sure everybody knows. Whoop,
Yeah,
I got to take
if he
this.
still has that, have him bring it.
You got to take it? Okay.
Let's take a call real quick.
Okay.
Life.
I don't know what happened to those. They're probably still in his freezer, or, well, that was a month ago.
Yeah.
probably
If they got
devoured
eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, then they're food. That's what's supposed to happen to it.
Yeah. How dare you eat my food that was going to spoil by the time I got it back?
How dare you eat the food I intended to feed you anyways?
Yes. For shame. Your disrespect knows no bounds. It's food. Next time you buy. So, yes. Oh, Clay, did you want to talk about the topic that you were talking about, how they're going to turn Ella Enchanted into a series, which first we should probably talk about Ella Enchanted, because if you haven't seen that movie, it's awesome. I have two
Well, so I had read today that Anne Hathaway, I really like Anne Hathaway. We were discussing that she was, Bill, she was today's, what's her name again? Are you farting on it?
What?
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
Oh, Audrey Hepburn.
Audrey Hepburn. She was today's Audrey Hepburn. She is actually producing an Ella Enchanted series. And we got to talking about strong female characters. And Bill mentioned the Joss Whedon and how Buffy and a lot of the female characters from Serenity are strong, well-developed female characters. And I thought that might be a good subject for this podcast. Really don't have much more to add to it than that, though. I'm an idea man.
And I've been in training all day, so I couldn't, I was learning how to do my new job. But I think that the problem is that Hollywood in its entirety in the last 20 years has really dropped the ball, 25 years really, on representing female badasses the correct way. They've kind of you get one or the other extremes. You get this super badass bitch, yeah, or you get the Mary Sue, where she has that, girl next door physical appearance, but she's like Rey in Star Wars, where you're just dude, what's the point of existing if you're unstoppable? If you have you're uncorruptible, unstoppable, undefeatable. You're Superman, because that's what Superman is.
That's why I don't like
Jesus.
Superman.
Yeah, he's not. I don't want to segue this into my hatred for Superman, because I've already stated multiple times, as much as I hate Superman, I hope he stays around forever. And Henry Cavill rocked at Superman. The plot wasn't necessarily along with what I know of canon, because I'm no Superman expert, but the movies were actually really good. And I
enjoyed the movie. It was a departure from what the comic book Superman would have been in a few ways. But, you give somebody license to make a movie, they make their movie. And I was okay with it. The new Superman, I thought, was amazing in its faith to the comic books. It felt like you were reading a comic book.
You were saying
watching a whole movie. Could any still in that movie could have been a page in a comic book.
That's how it should be. You were saying that it was, like you were surprised how good it was, and everybody I've talked to that's seen it said it was good. I'll eventually get it. It's on the list, but it's, The problem is, the first Christopher Reeves Superman has, like, all of the feel-good Superman vibes, all of the nostalgic characters, but plot-wise, nothing happens in that movie. It's just introducing Superman.
Just, here's Superman.
Here's Lex Luthor. And the problem is that Gene Hackman is probably the worst Lex Luthor. And that's not a slam on Gene Hackman. He's great in Target, great in The French Connection. I mean, he's amazing in Unforgiven as the main bad guy, Little Bill. But he's not Lex Luthor, where Clancy Brown nails that character in the JLA animated series and the Superman animated series. So it's like just once again reinforcing that Clancy Brown is just not only one of the best actors to play villains, which in real life he's like an absolute sweetheart from everybody that's ever met him or worked with him or talks to him. But that's usually the case, isn't it? The bad guys are really nice, and the guys that play heroes are these egotists, narcissist weirdos. Just like Tom Huddleston is like totally cool, but they just associate him with Loki. Or what's her name who plays Lena that plays Circe. She always plays. She's like really.
Lena Headey.
Yeah, thank you. I love her, and she always plays like horrible villains. She was awesome as Mama in Carl Urban's Judge Dredd. Which,
I was going to say in Dredd.
If you haven't seen it,
great movie.
Oh, it's an amazing film, just amazing. So, again, she's a believable villain. You understand why people are psychologically afraid of her. I mean, yeah, she does the physical flex towards the end, but for the beginning, she rules more psychologically than she does physically. Thank you for coming with me on that. Yes, I agree too, me. Thanks. But she's she's been in other stuff too, not just those two roles. There's another movie she's in. And
she was also in the short-lived Terminator TV series, I want to say.
Really?
I don't know. I think that was it.
She's great for like fantasy. She's like just a total package for the fantasy sci-fi genre. You could put her in Terminator, you could put her in Game of Thrones, and she'll function well, do a good job. Like all those actors they're just in every sci-fi thing over and over and over. What's his name that was the lead guy in Krull was a Starfleet officer later in The Next Generation.
Everybody was a weird forehead alien at some point.
Even Mick Fleetwood.
Like they might be giants for singing. Everybody wants prosthetic foreheads on their heads.
I wanna rock to wind a string around. I love them. I love They Might Be Giants. I have so many other CDs. Never saw them in concert though. I lament for that.
I did.
Really?
John? At the Marquee Theater.
Oh my God! Really? That must have been awesome.
Yeah, about 6 years ago.
Thank you for putting rock to. Thanks for putting that song in my head.
I'm your little friend, I'm not your only friend, but I'm your little glowing friend, but really I'm not actually your friend, but I am.
There's a picture opposite me of my primitive
There's
ancestry.
a picture opposite me of my primitive ancestry. Who stood on rocky shores and kept the beaches shipwreck free.
Christine, the ex, got me a MP3, and it's on my MP3 player, and it's the two of them singing a Greek version of the Number 3 song. and it's all in Greek. And I've listened to Greek for 30 years, and I don't understand a word of Greek except 3 swear words that you learned at Paul's house.
I think I know those same 3
Malaka,
words.
that means jack off. I remember that. And then there's one that it starts with a noise. And I can't remember the rest of it. God damn, I missed the Greek Orthodox Easter parties in the 90s. They were so amazing. Never happen again. That's a bubble in time that's floating around in selective people's memories, slowly decaying. Like the movie Coco. Great. So yes, Ella Enchanted. Ella Enchanted is a really whimsical and awesome take on Cinderella. Where I love the fact that there's this entire network of fairy godmothers, and some of them integrate with society, and some of them are like, with wings flying around. So with Ella, without giving out too many spoilers, which we're about to give out all the spoilers, because the movie's, 20 years? Oh, hold on, now I gotta look. Ella Enchanted. I'll post the preview on. Fun personal fact that drove me insane for about a year and a half. Excuse me. Personally, there is a point in the movie where they're traveling and they have to go through the giant country where the giants live. They're like giant reserve. And there is a wedding going on between 2 groups of giants, and the giants are just having a blast. But they play 18 seconds of a Bollywood song, and it took me a year and a half to find that song on YouTube. It's from the movie Major Saab. The song is called Sona Sona, but the part you're looking for from the movie is the last 18 seconds of the 6-minute song. Don't worry, it's a fun love song. It's fun to dance to. You'll get used to it. You'll enjoy it. Anyway, so Ella Enchanted comes out in, let me get the, I must
2004.
Damn, you're quick. I must consult IMDb. So Ella is Anne Hathaway, the amazingly and talented Anne Hathaway. And she has a wicked stepmother. Her mom dies, and her mom's sister is Mimi Driver. Super awesome Mimi Driver. And so hot.
One of my favorite actresses.
Oh, she's amazing, isn't she? Just love her and everything. But she's a fairy godmother, but she's not Ella's fairy godmother. Ella's fairy godmother is played by Vivica Fox, and she is a raging alcoholic through 3/4 of the movie. And they get into that a little bit, but it's a kids movie, so they kind of handle it the way they would handle a 50s fun, crazy Guggenheim kind of drunk on the screen where this is happening. All right, kids, look at mom, But oh my God, the 3 actresses that play the wicked stepmother and the 2 wicked stepsisters, Joanna Lumley plays the wicked stepmother. And I've been in love with her for a long time. Even though you fucking hate her on Absolutely Fabulous, it's still Joanna Lumley. So she rates very high on the strokeability scale. Sorry, I had to say it. And then also you have Olive and Hattie. Olive is played by Jennifer Higman. And it's not that she's bad. She's just kind of a follower and kind of has to be mean to Ella. But the amazingly talented and gorgeously beautiful Lucy Punch plays Hattie, who's kind of the major antagonist of the 2 stepsisters that make Ella's life a living hell. Is that accurate, guys?
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Don't let me monopolize it. Jump in, either one of you, at any time.
I've not seen the movie.
What? It's a great
Oh,
movie.
really?
I have it on DVD. Oh, it's at Willow's house. It's at Beth's house.
Well, it sounds like it came out right around the time I was getting divorced and very poor. And so all I did was eat, sleep, and work.
It's an interesting... I love, they go to a mall at one point, and there's a wooden escalator, and they pull back, and a bunch of peasants are working the escalator with a series of cogs that make it just this endless, like a metal one, but it's all made out of wood. What's another good one? Eric Idle is the narrator of the entire film. I don't know if that entices your interest in it at all.
It does.
The main Carrie Ellis, the Dread Pirate Roberts, is King Edgar, and he's the prince's uncle, and he's actually one of those guys who's like, he's like a King Richard III type. He's super nice and flamboyant, but really he's actually a giant evil bad. It's one of my favorite. Carrie Ellis always gets credit for being Wesley and the Dread Pirate Roberts, but really his best two roles are comic book villains and Ella Enchanted, because he is a giant asshole in this movie for 2 hours. Everybody feels sorry for him in Liar Liar, and you kind of feel sorry for his character because he's really, in that movie, he's really given the short end of the stick. He has to be the stepdad, and Jim Carrey is the real dad, so any kind of fun he has with the kid just looks at his mom and just like... And at the end of the movie, he loses. What's her name? Jim Carrey's ex-wife. So it's like, oh, God, I feel so bad for it, and nobody ever talks about him. But in this movie, he killed his brother he's totally like the ultimate Shakespeare villain. He's like a cross between Richard III and Claudius from Macbeth. And every child that has a fairy godmother is given a gift at birth. And Vivica Fox is drunk when she bestows obedience on Ella. And Mimi Driver's like, that's a terrible gift. Oh, you want me to give her something else? No. Obedience is fine. So the problem is every time you yell a command at Ella, she, like, this crescendo music happens, and she immediately does what you ordered to do what you ordered her to do to the letter. Like, they're getting attacked at one point, and she and this elf are trying to fight. Stop that! Right punch, left kick. So she ends up beating up 3 ogres because the elf is telling her, punch, kick, block, move. Sweep. Hit him in the back of the head. But she is a cross between a fierce, brave female character, but she's also like super hippie Hermione Granger. We've got to stand up for the right, because in their world, elves are only entertainment. They can only sing and dance and do music. And she meets, what's his name? Slannon? Slannon, isn't it? And Slannon wants to be a lawyer. So it's kind of, you go through this. Ella's trying to change her world, but through like a grassroots kind of, making signs and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Hattie, the evil stepsister, has the biggest fan club in their kingdom for the prince. So she's trying to meet the prince, but the prince, it's the Cinderella story. He's interested in Ella because she's not like any of the other girls. She cares about rights of magical creatures, and she's into, doing stuff her own way. And meanwhile, all these other women are chasing him everywhere like it's a Monty Python sketch. And Heidi Klum is a giant, and she falls in love with the elf that wants to be a lawyer. It's silly. It's slanted.
Oh, when you said that, all I could think of is, I don't want to make toys. I want to be a dentist.
Dentist. No, Hermie, you've got to make toys. Joanna Lumley plays Dame Olga, who's the wicked stepmother. It's very silly. It's very fun. Don't think about it. Don't, there's a bunch
I
of
like
magic.
goofy movies.
Yeah.
I like silly stuff.
The ogres are hilarious. What's his name? Is the Nimsh is the one ogre. Oh, he used to be, Jim Carter. He's an English actor. Well, there's a ton of British actors in this movie that are really famous that Americans will watch. Oh, yeah, he's from that movie. Because he's been in Downtown Abbey and Shakespeare in Love. And in Top Secret, he was Deja Vu. Haven't we met before? Sure. No, I don't think so. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad that they're making the series. 'Cause I think it would be fun. Because their world is really like old world Greyhawk, where everything's divided up into these sections, and then it's not like big and expansive like the Forgotten Realms. Well, there's desert. Well, for how long? Well, for like 4 months. It's just desert.
Yeah, well, with the Forgotten Realms, so I think the way that came about is it started out, if you've read the materials, it started out in Shadowdale and the Kingdom of Cormyr and all in that area, and then he just kept adding to it and adding to it. And then he came up with some other places that didn't connect, and then he just kept adding to those until they connected. And it's a big sprawling mess.
Broomhilda. Heidi Klum is Broomhilda, and it's Heidi Klum 2004, so she's got like short skirt on, and she's just fawning over this elf who wants to be a lawyer. The best is when they go to the elven village, and he's like, okay, we've got to stick to the shadows. We can't be seen. You don't understand what's going to happen. If we get spotted, it's over. It's over for us. And as he's explaining it, Anne Hathaway stands up, and this old lady elf sees her and turns around and goes, visitors! And all of this, like, musical music starts. Oh, welcome to the... And she's like, oh, wow. And he has a meltdown. Ah! No! Go away! Leave us alone! Get out of here! And he's pushing Anne Hathaway, and of course they've got it, he is like Hobbit-sized, comparatively on the green screen, and he keeps pushing her, and we've got to get to the tavern. It's the only way they'll stop. And they're doing all these huge dance numbers to welcome Anne Hathaway to the village. And as soon as he's like, go away, and he slams the door, and they're all like, oh, and they all walk off into the... I want to go to the elf village. That looks awesome. It's like visiting Munchkin Town. Look at them all.
So Shrek stole that scene for Robin Hood.
Yes, he did. That's exactly where it's from, and it's fucking hilarious in both.
There was another movie that used dancing villains as a trope at the end. I think the movie was... What?
Rapunzel.
No.
Well, there's a whole scene in the middle of the movie. Follow your dream.
It was a movie called Gamer. It's about... Because
other than that, there's only one dancing...
I want to say it was Anthony Michael Hall was the villain.
He's a great villain. He doesn't get enough credit.
And I want to say Gerard Butler was the hero. And Gerard Butler is this guy who's on death row. And the villain has invented this technology where, they inject you with nanos, and then you can basically become a host to somebody in basically like Second Life, except rather when you log into Second Life, you take over a virtual avatar. In this world, they didn't call it Second Life. When you log in, you take over the physical body of somebody who has signed a contract and taken these nanos to let you take over their body and live in this virtual world in a real body.
Wild.
And the thing is that the villain has been giving these nanos to everybody and has an override to where he can just take control of people. Another way the technology was being used was they would take death row inmates and offer them to play in this game, where, you know, professional gamers take over their bodies and use them in these games. And if you survive so many games, you get your freedom. And of course, that's the lead character, is like one of the champions. And very, very interesting take on it. But at the end, when Gerard Butler goes to confront the villain, you know, the villain has all of his
nanos,
all of his dudes there, and they're just doing normal shit. And then he clicks a button, and they all like fall into line and start doing this coordinated dance number. And the villain goes into, "I got you under my skin." And yes, does the whole, he's dancing as a lead dancer while his crew is all dancing around him, and it breaks down into a fight. But it was a genius scene.
The only other movie I can figure with that is the 80s.
I think Ludacris was in that movie too.
I think so. He's been in several films, actually. The Pirates of Penzance was made into an absolutely silly movie in the 80s with Christy McNichol and Chris.
I remember that.
And my sisters were obsessed with that. And they have an entire dance. It's a musical. There's dance numbers all through it. But at the end, there's the "give me a happy ending" routine. Because I've seen the movie about 20 fucking times. Thanks, HBO. Because all summer long, you know. You want to watch Gremlins? No. Pirate movie. Tarantara.
I hadn't discovered my love of pirates then. I was still way more into vampires and Star Trek.
Equally good. Or Vampire Star Trek. They did that on Buck Rogers. The one episode with the vampire.
The Buck Rogers TV show was that's my childhood right there.
Okay, Buck.
I actually went and saw the pilot movie in theaters at the old Christown UA Cinemas. It used to be out on 19th Avenue. Yes.
All the old cinemas except for 55th Avenue in Glendale, the old drive-in, they're almost all gone. Cine Capri used to be at 24th Street in Camelback. Now Cine Capri is at...
No, there's a couple of
Deer
theaters
Valley
that call them.
And,
there's a couple of Cine Capri, but they are not the Cine Capri. They're not. No, they're just no. They're not.
I saw The Empire Strikes. The Empire Strikes.
This is a movie theater that had a huge curved screen. It had two aisles. It had a center row of seats and two outer row of seats, and it had a balcony.
That was it.
And it was huge.
It was artistically perfect, cinematically beautiful, but it wouldn't survive in today's world. It would have to be a reservation-only theater, like one of those cool theater restaurants that you go to.
Most movie theaters now are reservation only. When you go online to buy a movie ticket, you pick your seats right then. And most of the seats are wider now and recline in movie theaters. They're not the old stadium-style steel buckets that, Veterans Memorial Coliseum used to ride. Yeah. No, they're more like lounge chairs. There are fewer seats in the theater, but it's way more comfortable. And because we're movie snobs, my wife and I, we want to go see a movie, we'll look at seats. And if the seats we like, which is this like really small section right in the middle, aren't available, we'll either find another time or just not go.
Yeah.
The days of standing in line for hours to get a good seat, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean, you name it. We stood in line for a lot of movies.
Yes.
That's
RoboCop
done now.
2, Back to the Future 2.
That's all done now. Now you pick your seats and just show up.
It's weird. I want the dollar movie theaters to come back.
There's still some dollar movie theaters. There's one out here called Century Theaters, and I don't know if it's dollar, but it plays the older, not current run. It's like the dollar theaters. Once it gets out of the major theaters, there should be, because we used
The
to do
second,
that.
third run. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't get to see it on the. I youngest child and I went to see Mrs. Peregrine's School for the Talented Children. It was okay. Eva Green, you have my total attention for 2 hours. How long is this? All of the Eva Green time. It was it was one of those movies where I left going, okay, wait a minute. Like the first time you see Time Bandits or 12 Monkeys, or how much of that was a dream and how much of that, or Brazil. Wait, okay, how much was in his mind? How much that actually happened? But that dollar theater was at like Bell on 27th Avenue, right down.
Yeah,
the
I
road
went.
from
I saw
Bob's house,
Anastasia
and it was
there.
on.
I
Really?
saw the re-release of Little Mermaid there when they re-released it. I took my daughters to see that. Yeah, both of them.
Right on. I think that if you're a working class dad, the dollar theater is all that more. If you're a working class dad and you're lucky enough to take advantage, Harkins has a movie. Well, they probably still have it. My youngest is going to be 24 this year, so I'm not up on what the movies are doing for kids, but all through youngest child's childhood, there was a movie program, and it was a private school. So all of the kids went, and most of the adults went, and sometimes we went to so-and-so's house after the movie and went swimming, and I picked them up later, and then, whatever was going on. So, I don't know, if Ella Enchanted is one of those movies for kids that comes out in that time period, like Sky High, and so many others where it's like, this isn't, or like, even Iron Giant. This is a really
what we need
good
to do. We need to have a Master Geeks movie night because we can stream them here on Discord. And I'll just hang out in the channel. We don't need to be in the same place, just in the same channel.
Watch the
and
movie.
We can rotate, watch a movie, take turns picking a movie that you really want other people to see.
Okay.
Because I'm lacking on a lot of movies, and I'll let you pick the first 5 or 6.
Okay, hold on. I have been talking about the 30-year gap for a while now. Last night, Scott, who's in a lot of my videos, who one day he'll be on the council, one day he'll play board games and D&D. He's in that period of his lifetime where he's got a lot of elderly family members, and out of all his siblings, he's the one that's left. Everyone can relate to that at one point or another, or knows the family member that, oh my God, thanks, Steve, for taking care of mom and dad. Yeah, it's a fucking picnic, but we went to Goodwill, and he bought an entertainment unit, and so I have a truck. He doesn't have, we pick it up. There are 2 young men, boys, young men. One is married. He talked about turning 21, and the other one was maybe 22. And they talked about being really young, and I started asking them, Quigley Down Under, Tombstone. No. And I kept, Defending Your Life, all these other movies. The only movie the one guy had seen after naming about 10 movies was The Usual Suspects. And the only reason he knew about The Usual Suspects is because he saw American Beauty and then started looking up Kevin Spacey movies. Because Kevin Spacey's kind of the cool middle-aged hero guy in that movie, even though the movie is really dark. And then I sold them on Death to Smoochie, which is not only Danny DeVito's first acting debut, but which is one of the greatest dark comedies ever fucking captured on film. Because you watch Robin Williams just be destroyed over the period of an hour and a half. And he does it all to himself. And half of you was like, oh my God, Robin Williams. But the other half of you was like, Rainbow Randolph's an asshole.
That's what makes a great actor.
He is
Martian
top
Cat
shelf.
has said she will host our movie night. She's got a nice boosted Discord server that gets better bandwidth and such, and
I like boosted.
Okay,
Okay,
she's got a
then.
nice audience. We could just throw up that we're having a movie night. We'll just have to pick a night and a movie and announce it, and we're
Well,
on.
then she gets to pick the first movie.
Be careful what you ask for.
It's not going to be rated X, is it? I mean,
If you want, we're not going to
How
stream it live. We're just going to stream it in Discord to everybody there.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't even know how to do that, for one. I'm glad she does. I don't know. What movie does she want to watch? Hopefully it's a movie I haven't seen, because I know I'm going to accidentally quote the damn thing, because, well...
Yes, but you've seen everything.
No, I have not. This movie...
You've seen a lot more than I have.
I was a civilian, though. That's not fair. And I have this, let's get this movie. Okay, let's watch it. I don't want to watch that. You know what? I don't want to watch this either. I don't know why we bought this. Here, I'm getting rid of these movies. Do you want them? Okay. So I've got movies that I don't even know. I don't even remember who gave them to me.
Yeah, we have stacks and stacks and stacks of movies.
Well, should we... Well... let's let her
She's
pick
in
the
another
first
Discord.
one.
I think she's
she
talking.
is?
She's talking to somebody else, so I don't want to interrupt her right now. She's kind of watching the channel and multitasking, but
We appreciate it.
let me...
Oh, excuse me. That was terribly rude.
No telling what she might pick.
Okay, Rob,
So-
we talked about having a movie night. We talked about Ella Enchanted, and, oh, shit. We talk about everything. That's why I hate picking a topic, because it's just going to lead to, like, 9 other things.
That's why we don't pick a topic.
Open forum can be some of the best discussions ever. That's why whenever I have to set a meeting, be it for business, for lodge, or even just hanging around, I love the open forum concept, because just that.
It's easier.
Let your brain go and give your mouth a little bit of verbal diarrhea, and let's see what comes out.
Getting all sweaty. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to do that this weekend. I've got a game to run for you guys, and I have put 0 pencil to paper on it yet. I've got some concepts. I've got some theories. I've got some ideas. But I have run dozens of games on exactly that much preparation. I don't know what's going to happen, but I promise it'll be amazing.
I trust your ideas over anyone else's any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
What does he mean, Dr. McCoy? It means, Spock, that he trusts one of your guesses better than most people's facts. No, I completely agree, because there's something about intensity that can go terribly wrong if you're not taking into account other human beings, if you're playing a group thing, if a group thing is happening. So every time that I have intensely and meticulously plotted out a dungeon, it's always gone horribly wrong. If I fly by the seat of my pants, one of the best times they've ever had.
Oh,
and I'm
let
left
me
going,
walk you
I don't
real
feel
quick
like I
through
did it.
this is my thought and development process for a typical game session. Maybe not the campaign, but all right, I start off with basic synopsis. What do the party have to do, and what is the end going to look like? All right, the party has to save the feast from the 3 witches. The end is going to look like some sort of confrontation with one of the witches. Now, rather than throw all 3 witches at you at the same time, maybe I make each one its separate thing with, the the leader of the coven being the boss battle at the end. Maybe one will throw obstacles at the party that you have to overcome. Maybe one will, create a puzzle that you have to solve, and then maybe one is a conflict. Maybe they throw other things at you. I don't know. That's, there. I've had 12 seconds of planning, and that's, other than maybe some notes and a couple of sticky note tabs on the monster manual pages so I can find them real easy. That's what I'm going to go with, and, be surprised.
It's always been a lot more success than the half of the time too. Is your players are relentless. No matter how much preparation that you've made, they go 90 degrees of what you've prepared, and then you're like, oh
yeah, that's why I don't. My preparation will be more like I'll pick out a few monsters, read them up, know what they can do. All right. We're playing in a large physical group, so we're mostly playing theater of the mind, so I don't have to pick a physical map and plot out what's happening where. I just have to think of a way to describe the battlefield in an interesting fashion, interesting details.
I would agree, because when you have a large group, you can play a lot more cat and mouse with a larger group than you can with a smaller group, because they can accomplish a lot more in their general area. Whereas if you've got a smaller group, you have to be a bit more streamlined to each one of their individual story arcs and personality, character development, and things like that. But if you've got a large group, you can cat and mouse them and almost dungeon crawl them into a city and then let them divide themselves. Because, well, for one, you should never split the party, but that's an ideal more than a...
That is a trope that applies to D&D that does not apply to almost every other role-playing game out there.
True. Also true.
Because D&D is much more of a team-focused.
Isabel took that to heart that first time.
Oh my God!
And
yeah.
she that is gold in her pocket. Shh, don't split the party.
Don't split the party. It's the golden rule, and you're right. She really did kind of pick up that ball and just rugbyed it all the way down to the other end of the field.
But you guys, if all of the people show up, let's see, yeah, Clay, you, Rob.
Well, the four of us. You've got
Yes.
3 more if you pick up Chris and your 2 children.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully Zach and Izzy.
Yeah.
Zach and Izzy.
My kids always have an invite, but there's stuff going on, so they're not going to come.
And then Ed, and then Antonio, and if Jackie comes, that's a dozen.
Ed. I mean, it's at
That
his
would be
house.
a nice. That would be a big party, but that could be an interesting run if we had that many on the. Excuse me, if we had that many on the field.
I invited Mary, and she said she's going to make a bunch of food for us and then leave, because Mary is far more interested in mahjong.
Not really my thing.
I watched
But,
it. I want to play. I want to learn it. It looks cool. I watched Kathy and Paul play it and other people play it, but I don't know shit about mahjong. It's
I
Before
only know
mom,
the very basic tile stacking solo version of it. But
before mom moved to Tucson, there was a program at the senior center that she was going to down in Scottsdale, and they had regular mahjong, and they had like 3 tiers. And she was down there, and she had a friend of hers that was from China who was trying to teach her mahjong, and she played for about a month. And then she kind of looked at me. She says, "I don't get it. I don't get it at all." It's not bridge. It's not pinochle. I don't get it. Understood, Mom.
It's not dominoes. I understand dominoes. Dominoes is
Bridge.
math. Yeah?
yeah, bridge is a bit much for me. But being in the army, spades and euchre.
Spades, euchre, crazy eights. shit on your neighbor, rummy. I love
Dad
card
was in the Air
games.
Force. It was when he was an alert bomber pilot. That was his thing. He told me, he said, that was the thing you learned how to play. You learned how to smoke cigarettes, drink bad coffee, and play poker. And you could do it for hours on end because you were either sitting in the ready room waiting for the alert, or you were sitting on the tarmac waiting for the takeoff, or you were in the air for X number of hours. It's like, all right, fold out the table. Tell me what my hand is.
Men excel at drinking bad coffee and playing card games. It's what we're good at. Now,
I'm an Air Force brat, and I learned how to play 5-card draw and blackjack before Go Fish.
We used to have poker nights when I was a kid. You know, we'd gather around the table, me and my little brother and my little sister and my mom and my stepdad. We'd only play for poker chips, but, you know, my parents taught me how to play poker.
Yeah.
And we didn't play any of that Texas Hold'em nonsense.
Nah.
According to
I think
Hoyle,
Texas Hold'em was only invented to get more people at a poker table for the casino to build money out of.
Yep.
It's not real poker.
Not
Any
really.
more than like the casinos out here won't play blackjack. They play Casino Arizona 21, where you're not only having to beat the house, you're having to beat everybody else at the table. Which blackjack isn't that way. Everybody plays against the dealer, and anybody that beats the dealer gets paid. Not in Casino Arizona 21. It's not blackjack.
My dad's parents didn't play any bridge back in Philly, but my mom's parents belonged to a club out in Havertown and where they lived. And apparently, according to my mom and aunts, my grandfather, Pop, Joe Schnell, he was a much sought-after bridge partner. Because when they would come out to... I played bridge with them, but I barely remember the game because I was so little. But I remember him going, no, I remember he knew all of the rules. So anytime something wrong happened, no, you can't do that. That's because of this and this and that. Oh, sorry, Pop, I didn't know. You know, it's okay. It's like, your daughter isn't teaching us bridge the way she should. Because, well, we were talking about it. It's different on the East Coast back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. There wasn't TV, there wasn't cable, there wasn't phones, there wasn't VHS or any of that.
My
played
grandparents were
cards.
bridge players.
They played
My parents used to have bridge parties.
I played a lot of canasta too.
They would set out 4 or 5 tables, and there would be all these couples that would come over, and they would play bridge all night long until they got to the lead table. It was like watching the poker tournaments, and they would go for broke.
I find it sad that bingo has survived, but bridge has kind of gotten almost extinct in the 55 and older communities, because bridge is a challenging game. You need to have a bit of poker skills and rummy skills to play bridge. You need to be able to calculate. You need to be able to figure out getting tricks to win the game. One team are 2 people, and the other team is a person and a dummy. And the dummy's job is more to keep score and to control the game than that. Well, there's a lot more than that. I'm simplifying it, but I wouldn't mind having a bridge night if we found like a bridge expert among us. Like if we're gonna talk about Edgar Rice Burroughs' John Carter, we have to have Ed on the show because he's the only guy I know that's read all of the books.
Yeah.
I did a long time ago. I read all the John Carter of Mars.
He told me all about it because I got TSR, besides Dungeons and Dragons, also put out The Warriors of Barsoom. And it was basically a miniature John Carter game. The Warriors of Mars. Barsoom.
There are a couple of different fan-made Barsoom rule sets for Savage Worlds.
Really? It'd be
Yes,
kind of fun. But if you think about it, Space 1899 kind of already bridges the gap, which I would
It kind of
love
does
to
the same
play.
thing.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, oh yeah, I guess. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
It does have this, I guess that's still considered steampunk. Steamships in space.
Steamships in space. How it works is Mars has these trees that are kind of like a cross between a mesquite and an oak, but they have helium in the ground, so they float. So the lumber over time loses the ability to float. And then, I don't endorse this because he was a fucking crook, but then there is an Edison ether propeller. Edison didn't invent anything. It was Tesla. He just sold. Anyway, so Edison's ether propeller allows you to travel through the ether that exists. Ether is basically space. That's what they thought in the Victorian era. That, oh, hey, Venus. That space had ether in between the planets and comets. And, like, Venus is like a weird caveman tropical jungle with dinosaurs and things like that. And Mars is basically Edgar Rice Burroughs' Mars, with the green Martians and the red and the white and the black and the orange. There's
Very cool.
So many of them.
Did you see the Disney movie that came out, I want to say about 10 years ago?
It looks awesome, and everybody kind of ignored it. And I've seen
Disney didn't promote it. I saw it. I thought it was very good.
It's cool.
But Disney made two mistakes with that movie. One, they didn't promote it at all. And then two, they dropped the of Mars and just called it John Carter. You know? So I'm sure that lost a few people. They called it John Carter of Mars.
I know what Dave Carter.
I think is it the first movie, A Princess of Mars?
That was the original title.
The first book, right?
Yes.
A Princess of Mars was the first book. They should have named it that.
Yes.
They should have tied it stronger with the Edgar Rice Burroughs intellectual property than they did, and promote it, which they didn't do either of those things.
Since we're talking
kind
about
of like the Iron Giant also was a movie that never really got promoted.
It was the first publicized pulp magazine. This was supposed to have M. Night Shyamalan direct it, and this was pre-Airbender, before he destroyed. That was so bad.
The live-action TV series is way better.
Just leave it as a cartoon. It's perfect.
The live-action
pretty
much mirrors the cartoon.
You're
it does very good.
The first book is called A Princess of Mars. Again, and see, like I said, I didn't even want to talk about this without having Ed on, because he knows the most about it than... He's the one that told me about, there's this race of Martians, they're like heads that look like crabs, and they have like human bodies that they become the head and move them around, and then they eat them, and oh God, I don't even want to hear this. This is making my skin crawl in the alien kind of way. Ugh. Anyway, apparently you guys haven't gotten that far in the story. It's disturbing.
No, I said I read the first couple of books, but
okay, in the books were these humanoid headless bodies lying around, and then there were aliens that walked up to those bodies and stuck their limbs inside those bodies and wore those bodies, and their head was the body's head. Yeah,
that does sound grim.
I bet that's like the stuff of nightmares, Ed. Thank you. And then if you go and you watch YouTube documentaries on John Carter, all of the guys doing the documentaries will be more than happy to tell you about. Oh my God, this is so gross. I'm the only one that's affecting. Okay, that's just, you don't find that weird?
I do, but I'm weird, so I have a weird filter.
I'm a huge pervert, but that's just because they eat them when they, when they're done parading around. It's like Men in Black 1, brand new Edgar suit. It's that whole thing, except if the bug head was sticking out of the top of the shoulders on the neck,
All right, that got me.
Now you're picking up what I'm putting down. Anyway, Ella Enchanted, full circle.
Full circle.
Full circle.
So they're doing a TV show. Where and when is it streaming? Which service do I have to subscribe to be able to watch it?
I will look it up.
Because I have some streaming services, but I don't have them all. But every once in a while, we'll go through and drop some and pick up new ones just to watch different shit.
For a man our age, 2004, Ella Enchanted was so much eye candy. Anne Hathaway, Mimi Driver, Vivica A. Fox, Joanna Lumley, Judy Punch, Lucy Punch, all the other ones I named. Heidi Klum. Yeah. But yeah, that was so funny because I heard that Bollywood song and I'm like, that is awesome. Wonder what the rest of the song looks like. And a year and a half later, oh my God, it's at the end of this movie from India called Major Saab. And it's the Sona Sona song. And it's a love song. And if you look it up, and it's been covered by everybody. And it's
Full confession, I like Bollywood movies, and I've seen many.
Bollywood movies are just Disney musicals. Let's be real. It's just them going, this is a
Well,
great
I
idea.
wouldn't say that they're kind of musicals, but they're not, because the musical numbers are usually, they seg away from the story into a musical number and then back, rather than break into a musical number in the middle of the story. It's still a musical, but Bollywood does it different.
It's a very strange. Major Saab was a weird. Okay, I'm an American, so, and I'm Irish, German, English descent. So, I have had neighbors that were Indian and friends that were Indian, and then Tim Coffey married an Indian woman, and that, you learn about the culture as best you can, and for work and friends and coworkers and all that. But I'm watching this movie, and the whole plot of the movie, Major Saab, it was actually pretty good for an Indian movie from a couple others that I've seen. And The Simpsons make fun of Indian movies where they go over to see Apu and Manjula, and they watch this movie, and it's just totally weird for us. But he's like, this is the #1 movie in my country. So Major Saab gets to a point where a rich kid leaves his family, joins the army, and eventually he entangles Major Saab. And then they kind of do, Major Saab is played by this one actor, and the dude, I'm trying to think of like an American equivalent. He's, the way they talk about him on IMDb and how he's received in India, this dude is like Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper. I mean, he's like acting royalty. And when you see him act and sing and dance, it's like, okay, well, he checks all the boxes. He's a Michelle Pfeiffer. Sing, dance, act, be real, not look cardboard. He gets them all. So there's a weird point before the end of the movie where they switch to him and his wife, and they're at his house. And he's all frustrated and he can't sleep, and they're arguing, and it's all in Hindi. So I do the best, but there was subtitles and it was Netflix, so hopefully it was a good translation. The argument consists of the reason he can't sleep, she says, is because it surrounds his decision. And he's like, you're mad at me because when you were giving birth, I chose to save you over my son. And then she goes off on this rant how he should have let her die because now she can't have any more kids so that the son would have lived. So it's like an American woman would never say that.
No.
Not that they're fantastically self-centered. It's just like there isn't that preservation for the next generation vision in America. It's more, a little more self and super gung-ho organism.
A lot more.
And this is like dramatic music and zoom close up on him, like, you know, like he. So it was corny in the sense that a 60s 70s dramatic suspense movie would be, but then they would break up into dancing. So the whole subject on the side plot is the rich kid becoming humble and becoming a soldier and working his way up. And at the very end, there's a wedding. And I've watched the movie twice, and I'm still not sure who's getting married at the end of the movie. But there's this great celebration, and that's where this fucking song comes in at the end of the movie. And the very end of the song and the very end of the movie is the last 18 seconds, which is the dance wedding scene for the giants in Ella Enchanted. There, full circle. I explained it all. Okay, I hope you all came with me on that one. That was a lot to unpack. Good luck with that.
I did. Speaking of Indian movies, one that we saw in the last year or so is called RRR. The letter R 3 times.
Okay.
RRR. And
I've seen that.
no, some of it's in Hindi, some of it's in Telugu, some of it's in English, because it takes place in colonial India,
Really?
and the English are the bad guys. And
sometimes, yeah.
Ray Stevenson plays the main bad guy.
Really?
In fact, it was his last acting role before he passed.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was amazing. Because it's a Bollywood movie, of course it's a musical and it's got musical numbers, but the way they blend them in, they all make sense. If a musical number wouldn't in this movie,
okay,
yes.
Have you seen their version of Batman?
Yes. Their shit is over the top, and
Indian
I love
comedy
it.
ever.
This movie has some truly stupidly over the top moments, but it is a fun movie. It's a long movie, but I think there was only one point during the movie where, as part of the story, characters broke out into song, and it made sense for them to do so at that point. Other than that, every song, they'd end scene and then they'd go to this surreal music montage thing to explain what was going on in the guy's head, and then it'll go back to the movie. So the characters didn't stop in the middle of what they were doing and break into song and dance. It was very well done. So it wasn't like any other musical I've seen.
No, I have to watch Major Saab again and again until I understand it. That's how foreign movies are. Sometimes
apparently it's entertaining enough to keep you coming back.
It's serious, silly, and goofy, and not gonna lie, I love Bollywood music. Djembes, doumbeks, hard thumping basses, chimes and stuff like that, and weird flutes.
I like the music
I love that
too.
stuff.
I'm big on all kinds of international music. In the last couple of years, I've found out that there's this thing called folk metal.
Why not? There's already punk folk 40 years before that. Thanks to Shane McGowan and Joe
Folk
Strummer.
metal. There's the first folk metal group I came across was a Mongolian group called The Who. H-U. The Who. H-U. Go YouTube them. Check them out.
The throat singing. Those guys are awesome. The Wolf song.
Yes. And yes, the Wolf song was one of them. And it struck me how similar the Mongolians look to the Native American tribes in the Western United States.
We're all in the same mud
I mean,
ball, space.
Culturally, the way they dressed, the way they acted, all of it reminded me of Native American culture. I imagine those two cultures would bond because they certainly looked like Utes or Navajo.
Yeah. I remember going to my first powwow in like 80, 81. It was fucking amazing. Just because it's not like, natives are hugely, there's a couple of natives that are going to be prejudiced at any large group, but largely in the Native Americans aren't very. Some are, some aren't. But the majority are very accepting. They're very, hey, come on over. And powwows, you're immediately welcome. Well, this was back in the 80s. You're immediately welcomed. You're immediately part of the tribe. It's like going to a pub on St. Patrick's Day. Without all the
Everybody's
liquor.
Irish today.
Yeah, you're Dene today. You're Hopi today. You're Pima today. So it's very, and boom, 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 boom. It's Ren Fair wasn't just about going there, being obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy and the Middle Ages, the Dark Ages, and all the time periods. It was about drums. You two will attest the same thing as with
SCA
the
events.
SCA.
Nighttime was
Wasn't there a
drums.
group
You
called
wanted fun, you
Rolling
followed the
Thunder?
drums. There was Rolling Thunder broke off into like a dozen different groups eventually.
But they existed at one point.
They existed at one
Paul
time.
told me about them. You got this is again. I was never in the SCA. I don't know. I was in Ren Fair, but the drum jam at the end of which has come back. By the way, I didn't know that, but the drum jam was a. I can't wait to the drum jam, and I got pictures of it. Everybody's sweaty. Everybody's. The first drum I learned how to play because I always wanted to learn how to play drums, and my mom told me no for about 10 years. And then Paul taught me how to play the boron, the boron, depending on where in Ireland you're from, they pronounce it a different way. And then the bones, and that opened up a whole world. The snare, the tom, then I learned djembe, doumbek, congo, bongo, anything
I have a
anybody could
doumbek.
teach me. Really?
But I do. But most of them are made out of wood or
Do you have a metal one?
well, I have a spun copper one. And it rings like nothing you've ever heard. I should go dig it out.
So jealous. Absolutely. I loved it. But Donnie, Quinn, Big Bill Meldrum, Babaloo, who is three guys and a bunch of drums. That's who taught me how to play drums because, hey, do you want to be in the gypsy troupe? Is that okay with Fatima? Oh, she would love you in the troupe. She thinks you're hilarious. I'll just bring my me to the group. And that's how I went from learning British and English and Irish drums. But if you think about it, and from playing the doumbek, you've got 7/8 time in Arabic and Middle Eastern music as well, and Indian music. So it's not that far away from Irish jigs and reels. Really?
No. And one thing I like about the doumbek is it's a versatile drum. You can get a multitude of sounds out of it once you practice.
Yeah.
And you know what I used to do? Drum circles in the SCA on Saturday night were fun. If you came with a drum and sat at the drum circle, most of the large camps that hosted them would have servers that would come around, take your mug, get you a drink, and come back.
Oh my
And
God.
because if you were a drummer, they didn't want you to stop drumming. They came and they brought you alcohol just to keep drumming. And what I do is because I had that copper drum and it had a higher pitch and it kind of had a ring to it. If you slapped the rim,
Probably had a ting.
a bang, kind of it cut through. And so what I'd do is I'd be listening to the drums and I'd find a counterpoint.
Yeah.
You know, like they'd be going bum, 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 bum,
Well,
bum, bum, bum,
and that's
bum,
the other
bum,
thing,
bum,
too.
bum, bum, bum. And
Whether-
then when they hit the spot, I'd go ba-da-da-da-da-da on that high thing and in the empty space, and it worked.
It was a ballady. I think that's ballady.
Yes.
There's like four. Sorry.
Yeah. So most of
I
the
just
drum circles devolved into the very basic stuff, but it was more about keeping a beat so the people could keep dancing.
We in the mid '90s, before Hannah was born, before oldest child was born, I remember one night that there were two different gypsy groups and then about 50 other dudes that just had and played drums because there were rock stars out there, but everybody with a drum was kind of, it's like juggling. drums and juggling are base skills. So everyone's allowed. Oh, I just started juggling. I'm not that good. Dude, I don't care. I've been juggling for over 40 years. I'm here to teach you tricks. Because otherwise you're going to have to learn them from other assholes or read them out of a book or a video or the We all were too close. And one night, I think we marched 2 miles up a dry riverbed in the sand, the east, to the edge of the property of the Renaissance Festival, and just started playing. And it was probably about 15 women and probably about 60 men. And the moon was full, and we played drums for probably 2 or 3 hours in the moonlight. It was one of my favorite nights out there, and it was 10 o'clock at night. There were no customers out there. We weren't open for business. Excuse me. Later, we got complaints, but
now everything's built up around there. There's housing communities in the vicinity that are not going to be too keen on it.
That place in the late, or I should say in the early 90s and the mid 90s was a wild party. And I miss it. But it's not the same fare anymore.
Yep.
Taylor.
That's like the old Estrella. Those days at the Estrella, you would have there would always be, like Rob said, there would always be drum circles in a lot of different camps. But eventually, on Friday or Saturday night, things would devolve to a point where there was the Pallet Boys would show up, and there would be a giant bonfire.
There was years where we showed up with so much beer that at night we would go around yelling, "Free beer!
Free beer!" Oh my God, I would have been like, "Hey,
you probably
guys.
heard us yelling that. And the thing with Australia is that the battlefield, there was this big open field area right in the middle of the park that nobody was camped in, and so the party always went down there.
Why not?
You get the big, all the drum circles,
the amphitheater up on the hill,
and they would make their way to wherever the evening's big event was going to be at, and the word got passed around. Word would pass from camp to camp. Hey, they're going to hold the big drum circle over here, and everybody, if you were still sober enough, or you could get 3 friends to lean on, you made your way to the big event, and then somebody like me was responsible for dragging my fighters back to camp and putting them in their respective beds so that I could then wake them up in the morning by making fresh biscuits and gravy. Get them up for 6 a.m.
There was a time, like when Clay and I were out there in 93. 93 for me was weird because I was with I call her my first wife, but she was really my first fiance. And she told me at the beginning of the 92 season, if you go out to Ren Fair this year, you're going to come home and find all of your stuff in trash bags. So I didn't do 92, which sucked because there was an epic gang war between 2 real gangs from the west side that converged. Tass and Rook and a lot of the people that have been out there forever talk about it. And I missed it! But there was like a literal throwdown where security and the sheriffs and the police showed up and all that by the Swan Swing. If you've been dude, that's like right near the entrance.
I know where this Swan
that's
Swing
like
is. 700
meters in front. Oh God, that's like right there. But in 93, I had, I moved at 90, after mid 92, I moved back in. 93 was really weird because my group, disbanded. A bunch of people went to the service, other people went into college, some of them moved out of the state. They didn't want to do it anymore. It was a lot of work for a little bit of money. It was really a labor of love. So I didn't really have a place to go in 93, I was what I loved being the best and what I started out as, just a, street jester. I'm going to tell you jokes, do a little bit of magic, pose for a photo, and then I'm on my next group of people to annoy. Maybe I'll work for a shopkeep and do a bunch of hawking. But I was really looking to being a stage show, because that's two things out at a Ren Fair. Yeah, it's a little more social status, but that's where the money is. Because then you're designated to so many half-hour shows each day on this stage, on that stage. You've got people to hawk for you. You've got people to help you collect tips. You do your thing, and then you go and you prepare for the next time. And that just kept falling apart. So I was not knowing where to go, and Paul and Sam and Alicia and Karen, and I met Teresa. We started dating, and she was in Bedlam. Hillary was still there. Well, Hillary's no longer.
And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. That kind of catapulted it. And the Bedlam story is super long because it involves decades. It's not just Paul and Sam and Alicia, and it was a power struggle, and in the beginning there was all this miscommunication, and there were all these standards, and at one point I left. But at that other time, Big Mike Beale was like, do the pirate thing with me. And this is 1993, and I'm like, Sam and Alicia are cutting my tips, and Paul can't get any more money from me, and Fair isn't going to give me any more money because, dude, I'm one of a troupe. They look at it as, we're paying for the 15 of you all individually, so you're only getting so much money. That's logic. I understand that. Okay, that makes sense, because we're not a draw. We're a joke novelty. So it isn't until I join and they start getting an audience that now they've got a little bit of power, but they don't give me any credit for getting them that power. They just look at it as, we're a traditional English Morris team. No, you're all covered in tattoos and you make modern jokes. You do traditional dances and your costumes are based on tradition, but not to any English tradition of any area, just this time period. So I leave the troupe and I'm mad and I want to go back to the street, but Big Mike is like, be my Smee. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. You'll be great at it. Well, yeah, but I don't want to do that out at Fair. It was the same argument for dance. I don't want to do all the dances because I'm more of an audience draw. I want to do one or two dances and then work on the audience to keep them sitting there, because Morris dancing is boring. It's the stuff of librarians and anthropologists, and
you have to really be a history buff. Morris dancing would work much better in the SCA because those are the kind of people that want to watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They would appreciate the authenticity of it all. So, and I've seen a lot of very good performances in SCA groups.
Yeah. Morris dancing is fun to do. It's great to be a part of. It's kind of boring to watch. And it is the hobby of historians, anthropologists, librarians. Arnold Rimmer from Red Dwarf. Yeah. One of the most hated of the four main characters. So there was a constant and again, I love Alicia and Sam. We are great friends on Facebook. I love them. If they called me tomorrow and asked me to be somewhere and do something for them, I would. Paul's no longer with us. But at the time, it was a volcanic situation, and I left. And Brian Krull and Ryan, I don't remember Ryan's name. I met Ryan once, and he had a fucking attitude about me because I love Brian Krull, and he's like a little brother to me, and he's a lawyer in life, and good for him. But we've had this weird, brotherhood adversary. We're like brothers that don't get along. which is and Brian and Ryan kind of took over for me as the front man after I left. And I had friends that watched the Bedlam show and went, "Oh man, they're really missing you." And I'm like, "I know, but I'm doing the pirate thing now with, Mike and Jeff and Dave and Brent and Keith and Cookie and all the guys." And the pirate thing was a great idea, but it didn't really go anywhere because they kind of looked at me as like, "Bill, do it." And it's like, I don't even want to do this, dude. I want to tell jokes. But in the end, Mike kind of took it over, and I kind of went back to doing gypsy shows and being a street character because I love being a pirate, and being a pirate's fun, and I'm being a pirate now. But if I'm given my ultimate choice by the Ren Fair, if you're not going to give me a stage show, let me be a street character. Because being a street character is a huge ton of freedom with a lot of money. A little bit of money. Not much. I don't know what it is now. I'm sure very talented. Like, there's a character out there named Don Quixote. And he literally acts like Don Quixote. Like, I've been in the shop at the Pirate's Plunder trying to sell something, and a plane went over the fair site, and this old codger lost his fucking mind in character. "Ah, it's a dragon!" And he started screaming in Spanish.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
That's getting into it.
I love him. He has a pouch that says, "Ask Don Quixote anything, $2. You just give me a line of credit now, man. Just ask him all these bizarre questions. Victor or Victoria, who do you think would win in a fight?
Aren't they the same person?
Yes, that's why it was a terrible joke. SpongeBob or Goku, who do you think's going to win? SpongeBob.
Who would win in a fight between Lemmy and God?
Lemmy.
Trick question. Lemmy is God.
Lemmy is God. Lemmy and Bruce Lee are both God.
I heard a story. I think it was, might have been Vince Neil. It was one of the members of Motley Crue had just started dabbling in heroin. And Lemmy came into his dressing room before a show. It was Nikki Sixx. And Lemmy came into his dressing room when he was about ready to rig up and said, "Oi, mate, there's going to come a point in your life where you're going to have to choose that or your career. You'll know when." And then he left. And that was when Nikki Sixx got clean. Lemmy is God.
Praise from Caesar. Yeah, you don't fuck with Lemmy.
If he tells you quit, quit.
Motley Crue's a weird combination. You have all this super talent, and then they put out like good music, but fairly mediocre music all at the same time.
We were having a conversation, me and a coworker, this morning about the Motley Crue type of music. I call it bad boy rock. Rah rah, look at me, look how bad I am. Rah rah, girls and partying and rah rah. And they not everything they did is that way, but that was the image that they put out, and a lot of their music fit that. And there's a lot of bands that I really didn't click with for the same reason. Oh, we're so bad because we're rock and rollers. No, you're not. You're musicians.
Yeah.
Just play some music and stop posturing.
I think
there are a lot of female bands that I don't like for the same reason. Not because they're not great musicians, but because they slap on the, "Oh, look, we're bad girls of rock and roll. Look at us being so bad." And this is what they sing about, being bad girls of rock and roll. It's boring.
Like Heart and Bangles and Vixen. You're the bad girls of rock. Can't we just make music?
See, the thing is that Heart would sing about everything. Heart was all over the place.
Heart was
and
great.
So they would sing the bad girl stuff, but they'd sing a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah.
So, and they weren't an all-female band. They were a female-fronted band.
Like Blondie, like Susie and the Banshees, and so many others. That doesn't make
See, I
them
like
any
the
less
Go-Go's
than
because they sang about other
Go-Go's
stuff, and that and their music was just damn catchy.
You can't hate the Go-Go's. They're just,
I love the Go-Go's.
yeah. And the Bengals and Vixen. I don't have, or Samantha Fox. Or the problem is that you have these women that are talented, but the industry gets a hold of them. And then they become these weird, you know. But then you've got the other side, which are like Tori Amos and PJ Harvey and like Ani DeFranco and my cats have been waking me up at 2 a.m. because my air conditioner is broke because they want to go outside and I can't really deny them. So then I stay up for a while being a horrible troll on Facebook, and then I get about an hour's sleep, and then I start training for the new job. And the new job is meticulously easy yet vastly complicated, if that makes sense.
It's not hard to do, but there are a lot of different details to remember.
Good man.
Yeah, that's my job.
Yeah.
What do you need to do my job? You need to breathe and your heart needs to pump blood. You know, that doesn't mean everybody will get it.
Yeah.
But what I do is not physically taxing, other than I walk a lot. I put in 10 to 13,000 steps a day at work.
I didn't realize how good a shape I was in from being a security guard until I started at Peckham, and a woman my age, I was a staircase and a half ahead of her before I realized, oh, I'm sorry, I better stop. Because every morning or every 3 o'clock, oh, go check the 4th floor. That meant climbing 8 flights of steps because security's not allowed to use the elevators unless it's an emergency. Or I'm invited by a guest. Oh my God, the first day I thought I was going to fucking die. I had to climb up to the 1st floor like 3 times.
Hotel security?
It was a resort at the Tapatio Cliffs at 7th Street south of Thunderbird.
They didn't let you use the service elevators either? I wouldn't keep that job. Nope, I'm out.
I lost 10 pounds and tightened up. It was great.
Yes, we have stairs at my job, and I take them occasionally. But nope,
remember,
I'm old.
I
got to preserve my knees.
I can't go back because I was fired. But there are many rooms that people died in and were killed in at that hotel. And I would love to do a live Mischief Night, Halloween night there. Dwayne, my little brother, which hopefully we'll have him on the show. Dwayne got me the job. I love Dwayne. I miss him so much. I still send him messages and talk to him all the time, and he's worthy of being a council member. And Dwayne is best described as this kind of human being. He's a small Japanese guy surrounded by a white dude, all encased by this giant, over 6 foot tall black guy. I love Dwayne. Dwayne and Dana. I met Dana first, but 2 of the most talented artists I've ever met and worked with. And they worked at Worldwide Villains. Dana did all of the people for Major Crush Hazard, and Dwayne did all of the artwork for Christine's Misadventures of the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, where Death is a 13-year-old goth girl, and Pestilence is a supermodel female, and War is an old Irish guy, and Famine is this fat Filipino chef who's always smiling and cooking.
Yes. In the game Deadlands, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse exist as well.
Really?
Yes. War is an Indian brave named Raven who opened the gates to allow the Manitou, the evil spirits, into the world.
Right.
Pestilence is Damon Hellstrom, billionaire inventor and industrialist who is slowly polluting the world to death. He doesn't even know he's one of the Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
He's oblivious. Famine is a crazy cult leader preacher in the city of Los Angeles in what used to be California.
Nice.
And I think, let's see, war, death, famine, and pestilence.
That's
I forget
everybody.
which. I forget
There's
which. There was one
False
other one.
Idol, but that's more of a newer. He's the fifth. Oh no, it's always been. Because pestilence and famine are usually lumped into one, and then false idols has been pushed into. But that's more of like a what?
Yeah, who
50s,
exactly the
60s?
four horsemen are changes depending on the source.
I'll give you that. Every religion pretty much has an end of times kind of, panic button. Really, it's like, well, no, we got about 5 million years till the sun explodes. We're good, guys. We're doing okay. Just keep, tending your garden and protecting your neighbors, and everything's gonna be all right. Every little thing is gonna be all right. I posted a song today. Turns out a woman I just started working with is a very talented jazz R&B singer. So go Juno. I've only worked with her for 2 days, but I went ahead and posted it, and we talked about it today. I didn't even know. She's like, I sing. It's like, whoa, because they were. I got the radio announcer voice. So anytime I go to a CSR thing, they're like, "Oh, you're so good. You're so, dude. I'm 54 years old, and I've been working in call center since '92. I was a telemarketer for a year before I learned the mortgage trade to be a loan officer. So, yeah, I kind of got the boom, boom, boom. So all of the stuff that I read, super ham. You want some eggs and cheese with that ham? Oh yeah, baby.
Yes, but can you say booger?
No, I don't want to. Booger. Boogers are.
That's right. What was the one thing that brought Dr. Johnny Fever back? Oh, Johnny, you can say booger.
I tell them at all the training center, having the radio announcer voice is fine, and it's great for stalling. But if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it's over. It's over. Rob, Jingo, if your DJ hasn't prepared and he's high as a kite.
Oh yes, no, DJs, you prepare your show. It depends on what it is you do. The morning DJs, the ones that do all the entertaining stuff, they come in hours before or stay hours afterwards to prepare for the next day's show. They don't just come in and plop down in the seat, turn it on, and go. That's not how that works. I mean, if it was a talk show, like maybe that would work if you have a good subjects, and know how to make yourself interesting. You could do that, but for your typical morning zoo type radio with all the crazy antics and all the little stuff, that takes a lot of work to make it consistent and entertaining.
It really does. Locally on 103.9 decades ago, oh God, what was his name? He did all kinds of characters. He did
Jonathan Brandmeier.
No. He did like Jeep Cherokee, the Native American who hates the outdoors, and Yoda, Jedi Master of Love. Oh God, what was it called? Damn it, I'll have to look it up because we would listen to it. This was like 20 years ago. This was a long time ago. I remember the Jonathan Brandmeier show. I'm not
he's from
but it's not.
He's from the early 80s. I actually saw him and his band open for the Beach Boys.
Really?
Yes.
Love the Beach Boys. That was this was the Keeping the Summer Alive tour. This was
the last tour that had all three of the Wilson brothers. In fact, it was a big deal that Brian Wilson had rejoined and was touring with the band. So I got to see all three of the Wilson brothers with the Beach Boys alive.
Pretty awesome.
They're still one of my favorite groups of all time.
Yeah.
That used to be the biggest draw for the state fair when we were kids. Was in the in the early days, in the 70s and the early 80s, you had Class A bands playing at the state fair.
We saw Cheap Trick every year.
And the Class A bands, that was part of your ticket to get in. You bought a ticket and you got into the show. You didn't buy a ticket for the show. You bought your ticket to go to the fair, and that included the show that day. And that was always an extraordinary event. You got to see top billing bands and some up-and-comers that would open for them. That was that was the good old days.
I saw Quarter Flash.
It's okay that it's the same as my father in the early 60s got to meet all the doo-wop groups he idolized in the 50s because of playing the Steel Pier circuit in New Jersey, because he had the Keystone Cavaliers and they played big band music and modern music, and he was able to meet the Flamingos, the Del Vikings, the Cadillacs, Little Anthony and the Imperials, because they were doing the second go-round, what would be referred today as the State Fair or Vegas Laughlin or Indian Casino go-round of entertainment.
Look up some obscure doo-wop? Look up Ronnie and the Prophets.
Ronnie and the Prophets. I'll have to look that up.
A young gentleman by the name of Ronald Padavona led the group. He became famous later in Ritchie Blackmore's band as Ronnie James Dio.
I thought
he was in a doo-wop band in the early 60s.
Dude,
he was in a doo-wop band, Ronnie and the Prophets. Actually, I think it was Ronnie and the Redcaps.
Have you heard Rod Stewart's Blues? Okay.
Second, I need to let my daughter get by because I have the door blocked.
We heard Panda crying earlier. I hope you were petting him. It's weird. My cats all day long have been all over me when I was at work, but now that I'm doing the podcast, none. And that's okay.
No, they know that it's important work.
The living room's colder anyway. They're going to be in there. So,
Fenner was sitting here haranguing for the first hour, and now he's over on the other side of the room, passed out cold.
Snoring like the happy dog he is. No, it was the 30-year gap exists, and that the 30-year gap is scary because it just means that even we in Generation X have to keep up more. What have we lost? Because I never learned so much about music from anybody as I learned from my father, but I didn't realize how much I learned about music from my father until I became an adult. I don't know how much sense that makes to the three of you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Son, I learned most of what I know about music, I just learned out of hunger for knowledge. You know, all of the band trivia. I'm one of those fools that I will sit around if I have nothing better to do, call up Wikipedia and call up a band page and read that band's history just to see if there's some fact about that band that I didn't know that I can bring up in a conversation sometime. I love music history, music. I'll watch a music documentary on just about anything.
I'm with you on that. My father started accordion lessons from a nun at age 8. Catholic family. By the age of 10, he asks his grandfather, "Gran, that song you're playing on the piano, what key is it in? Huh? What note is that in? Is it in A or D or C? And my great-grandfather, Charlie Kelly, who could not read music if you put it in front of him, looked at my dad and said, "Oh, Billy, it's not in a key. It just goes like this." And then because he was ear taught.
That's me. I can play by ear. I can't sight read music. I can look at a page of music, and if I have the time to sit there and pick it out note for note, I can figure out what it's supposed to sound like. But I can't look at a piece of music and make it come through a musical instrument.
Yeah.
That's a talent I don't have. And I see people mostly fall into one of two categories. They're either a by ear improvisational musician, or they're very, tuned into, reading music. I can't read music.
There was a movie with Gregory Hines, and it was called Tap. And it was about an ex-convict who's trying to better his life. And he's trying to do it through tap dancing and getting a real job, but the criminal element keeps coming after him again and again and again. You both nodded. Clay is... Oh, hold on. People are calling me. I don't know who it is. He says something completely profound in the movie that stuck with me my entire life. And my father tried to enrich this, but my mom kind of put the kibosh on it, is that everything all around me is music all the time. Like if have my headsets on and I'm watching a video on YouTube, and then I turn it off and take off my headset, and there's 12 fans running in the area, my brain will make music out of those 12 fans. Whether it's, scream metal or, tribal music from...
I have a question I like to ask people a lot, and you'd be surprised how often it catches them by surprises. What song's going through your head right now?
Claptone by Bjorn, and not a sponsor, but a huge fan. I was listening to it before. Sorry.
I've had the same song stuck in my head for days.
Go. What is it?
It is Renegades of Funk by Rage Against the Machine.
Good song. Sing a couple bars. Go!
Actually, I can't sing a couple of bars.
It's karaoke.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
There you go. Rage Against the Machine. Or you could filk them. You could do a Weird Al Yankovic, running fishing with your family with a pocket full of smelt. Yeah, it doesn't really work.
Actually, Weird Al did a parody of them.
Did he really?
I forget the name of it. Yeah, he's like, Sue, I'm gonna sue you. I want to say...
I've seen Weird Al twice.
I want to say it was a parody of Bomb Track, but I can't be sure. I'd have to go listen to Bomb Track again. But at work lately, I've been very rebellious. I have my little Bluetooth speaker and my Spotify account. And so I've been deliberately picking rebellion kind of music, like Rage Against the Machine,
hold on,
Queensryche, the Dead Kennedys.
Yeah. All good bands.
The Beastie Boys. I love the Beastie Boys.
Hold on. Weird Al. So, in 37 years, Weird Al Yankovic came to Channel 12, NBC, locally, Phoenix, probably 5 times. And out of the 3 of those 5 times, my father said that night during the newscast, "Hey, I passed that guy in the hallway. I said hello to that guy in the green room when I was getting a bottle of water. I said hello to that guy on the news set." You're both accordion players. Fucking awesome, amazing Eddie Van Halen style accordion players. Like, my dad could fucking shred it on the accordion. Like, there's accordion players, and then there's my dad and Weird Al that make the accordion sound like a fucking electric guitar. It's just like, Jesus Christ, holy polka nightmare. And they never, hi, hello, oh, good to see you. Because my father never knew who he was.
lava being mentioned. He ran into the Bobby Caldwell is white conversation that became popular a few weeks ago.
Yep.
As my wife would say, he got a permanent invite to the cookout.
They actually, well, I mean, an architect and an engineer, they could spend hours telling dad jokes to one another and laughing incessantly. It's, oh God, I miss him so much. Every day. Anyway, but yeah, Weird Al Yankovic is, Hannah and Shane got me the greatest gift ever because we saw him in his ill-advised and unplugged. I still have it's backwards.
Very nice.
Yeah. We didn't get out of there
It
until
actually
after
shows up
3
right
a.m.
on the stream.
Oh, good. But got to meet Al. And, I mean, he kind of, he was magnanimous and he was very polite. But we're just 3 weirdos in the line waiting for him. And, like, 2 of the people in the concert that were right around us in the 3rd row were super drunk. One guy broke a stadium seat while the 3 of us were sitting there. And, I mean, he didn't do it out of anger. He did it out of being clumsy and being super intoxicated.
I can't imagine paying money for a show like that, especially seats like that, and then just getting so blotto you don't remember it.
Yeah. I could have a cigarette. He kept saying that. Dude, go outside and smoke. We're watching Weird Al. There's people here with poodle hats. What are you doing? So, I said to Al, it's one thing for a artist to master their style. It's another thing for a true genius virtuoso to master everyone's style and be able to do solos and improve on that and to rewrite all their lyrics. And he just kind of slowly turned around and looked at me like so many looks I've gotten. It meant a lot more because it's fucking, Alfred Yankovic. But he just looked at me like, are you being serious? Are you crazy? Or is this just some kind of, I just wanted to thank him. I've been listening to you since Dr. Demento. Another one rides the bus. Rocky Road. I have all your albums.
As do I.
I visit Mr. Frump in the Iron Lung. I listen to him every day.
He does 3 different styles of songs. He does direct parodies.
Yes.
He does style parodies.
Yes. And he does.
And then he does original
originals,
compositions,
which are glorious. I'll Be Mellow When I'm Dead. I listened to every day from 1986 when I was 14 years old to the time I was a senior in 1990.
Actually, Mandatory Fun has become a regular stream in this house. I think the best Weird Al song of all time is on that album.
It's a great album. All of his albums are amazing.
Mission Statement is beyond genius.
Okay.
Go watch the video. Oh my God, the video is perfect.
Dog Eat Dog is one of my favorite Weird Al Yankovic songs because it is so apropos to corporate life. Got a job in a great big... And I know he's, like you said, it's in number 2 category for you because it's a Talking Heads, Lou Reed-esque kind of song, but it's not a direct parody of any one song.
It's a style
just
parody.
A style parody, yes. But Dog Eat Dog, have you ever
He
heard
might
it?
have had a particular, yes.
Oh,
he
good.
might have had a particular artist when he usually his style parodies, he was trying to parody somebody. I think one of his best style parodies is Dare to Be Stupid.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Mothersbaugh said, he, in essence, he nailed us, and I hate him for it.
Everything Al does is amazing. There aren't like any bad Weird Al Yankovic songs because he's imitating what you love. Even Living with a Hernia is a hilarious song.
I want to amend what I said earlier. He has a fourth type of song, the polka medley.
Oh,
and from what I understand, the polka medleys where he does all the songs run together as a polka.
Yeah,
that's what he does to songs he doesn't like.
Yeah,
if he doesn't like a song, it goes into the polka medley.
Form.
Yes,
which sucks because I love.
There's some songs medley. I love. I love some of the songs in the polka medley, and some of them I think he doesn't. He doesn't hate the songs. They're overplayed. Like Smoke on the Water.
Yeah, there are a lot of songs that are iconic and have a cult following, and then there's songs that the industry decided that they're iconic and that they should have a cult following. But yeah, all the love for Weird Al. And Weird Al is proof that you can take his filk of American Pie, Anakin guy. It's genius, and it's proof that you can take a song from the past, excuse me, and still apply it to the future.
Yes.
As disgusting as that was, stuff, I hope you understand.
I still have Yoda memorized. And believe it or not,
Yoda.
It matches all the verse and chorus. It matches the original song perfectly because I have done Yoda at karaoke when I called up the Kinks song.
I met them and
it all lines up.
They go by where it bubbles all the time like a giant carbonated soda.
Another song I'm trying. Oh yeah. I saw a little bump sitting there on a log. I asked him his name in a raspy voice. He said Yoda.
Yoda. What's another brilliant one? Midnight Star. That song never gets enough play.
Bedrock Anthem.
I love the Chili Peppers, but that's not one of my favorite of their songs. But I do like the fact that he did them because.
Oh yeah, have you seen the video? He nailed them.
Yeah,
Flea's in the video.
Oh yeah, all of it, dude.
Yes, they're all in his video.
Yeah, Al is one of those like. Weird Al Yankovic is an artist that since the beginning of his career, because he is the way that he is, because he is the person that he is, and we're not even, dude. The guy's brilliant. He's like, Reed Richards level intelligence, Tony Stark. Because it's one thing to just make up silly lyrics for one lyric of a song, but to do a whole 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes albums, all these different songs, to go to Madonna and Michael Jackson and Huey Lewis and the News and all of these people.
The Madonna song he did, I've heard a rumor that that was the only song that he did that was suggested by the artist he parodied. From what I understand, he wrote Like a Surgeon after Madonna suggested he should.
Okay, let's go one step further. Weird Al Yankovic, and I wish the two of them would get on for this. Weird Al Yankovic is on the same level. Stay with me, folks. Like and subscribe, 100% pure barf. Weird Al Yankovic is on the same level as the Grateful Dead for one song and one song only. And that's Chicken Pot Pie. Because Paul McCartney loves the song, but because it's about meat, he asked Al never to put it on one of his albums. So it's a weird, random, Grateful Dead kind of situation where we're going to sing this song. Holy shit, they never sing that song. Quick, get your phone out, record this. Because Live and Let Die, Chicken Pot Pie. So it's a complete random rarity. What, Rob? Was that my echo or him? Do you know? Clay?
I didn't hear
Rob?
it.
My mind is going. But chicken pot pie, because the problem with Weird Al and Prince is very well known, because Prince got all butthurt because Al wanted to, do one of his songs. It's like, dude, it's Al. Let him do one of your songs. If anything, this is just going to increase your sales.
Prince is too uptight for that.
Prince is
Bible
your...
Being says he's not getting echo on the stream either.
Oh, sorry.
He says
Dude,
he's
I
not
just
getting
wanna
echo.
put a good show
So
on.
audio sounds good.
Oh, huzzah.
That's what he's saying. Is
I
our
love-
audio is
Oh.
our audio is tight.
I love Prince, Sheena East. I'm not like anti-Prince, and Dave Chappelle making
I
fun
love
of Prince.
Prince.
Yeah. Let's Go Crazy and, Dearly Beloved. Oh, Party Like It's 1990. Prince,
The guitar lick at the opening of When Doves Cry. OMFG.
let's just talk
If
about...
that doesn't put him in the GOAT category of guitar players, then what would?
There's a store at Tatum and Bell. Get goat haircuts. Why the fuck would you want a goat haircut? And then I had to look it up at home. Oh, greatest of all times. That's what...
Yeah,
it's an
GOAT
acronym,
is
not a...
GOAT has been. They've been throwing that around for a few years, and I find
I'm a
it ridiculous.
caveman, dude. I don't know. I'm catching up. My class at school had to watch me. I am capable of growth, damn it. I had to open up the Samsung store and put an app on my phone, and like I told them, that's my ex-wife's world. I don't give a crap about my phone. It's a Samsung Galaxy 10 SE, and what are they on? 8 now? I don't know.
25.
Something like that.
25.
So
That's what I've got.
Well, I had to add the app or I was going to get fired. So, I can't afford that. Anyway, Weird Al Yankovic. What's another good one? Dare to Be Stupid. You guys already talked about that one. Mellow When I'm Dead. There's so many good Al songs.
Mission Statement is, to me, still, it's a genius. And it's a style parody of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It sounds kind of like Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. But
Christmas at Ground Zero. There's panic. Oh, sorry, Rob.
what I like about Mission Statement is the entire song says nothing.
Yeah.
It's all corporate techno babble. We must all holistically
Or Foil.
operationalize our strategy.
Foil. Or
We'll set a brand trajectory, and all of this.
Team.
God, yeah, sports song.
Sports
Yes.
song. Oh my God, I love that. You suck. We're the best. Figuratively, we're gonna kill you.
Yes, mandatory fun. It was funny when when he put that album out, he wanted to do video, and the record company said, "We don't have a budget for you to do videos." So he went to Funny or Die and a bunch of other independent groups, and every video he made for that album, and he did like 5, all funded by him independently and or by the people that help him put them together. And they're genius videos. And yes, sports song has a video.
You suck.
Oh,
okay.
Tacky.
Thank you. Dude, stop reading my mind. Please stay with me, because did you get music constantly from Paul? I'm sure Rob. Jingo, did you and Rob, they're both.
I'm here.
Good. Paul and Dan and a couple other people in my life, and my sister Beth especially, and then later Amanda, where Beth just sent me a thing about the animated movie of Watership Down. Ah, what a horrible book. But there's like, when I was young, all of them, besides like Ron Hill and a couple other friends in our group, Morgan Ellig was a huge musical influence in my life. And my sister Beth, and especially being a female Virgo, they become this, they're introducing you to new music. And then later, Weird Al Yankovic would parody Agent Falcon.
I know. I drive my wife nuts. We'll be out in public and a song will come on, and I'll start singing the Weird Al version of it. Or I'll be singing it under my breath, and she's like, "You're singing the Weird Al version, aren't you?"
Of course I am.
Yes, I am.
I have experienced 2 Weird Al Yankovic concerts. The first one, the ex-wife bought tickets for the 4 of us. It was amazing. It was a normal Weird Al Yankovic show. Videos, he comes out in a costume, does 3 or 4 songs, everything goes dark. Video, he comes back out, he's in a completely different costume with different vans. 3 or 4 songs, everything goes dark. Video, he comes back out, completely different vans and costume, does 3 or 4 songs, video. But then the one I showed you that I have the lanyard for, that was different. It was more like an MTV Unplugged show. In the beginning, Emo Phillips came out. Well, Weird Al came out and he introduced emo. And I've been watching Emo Phillips comedy since the early 80s, so, oh my God, it's emo. And I know we did his lines earlier, but I got beat by the computer for playing the game of chess, but he was no match for me in kickboxing. Or my favorite Emo Phillips quote, I like to start every morning with a piping hot pot of coffee. That really gets me going, to have a boiling hot pot of coffee. I've tried other enemas. So, yeah, he's got this real... or one day I was at the park, and I was just sitting there eating my lunch, and I looked over and I saw this young boy, and I thought, oh my God, that's Jimmy Peterson. And I stood up and I walked over and I slapped him hard on the back and I said, how are you, you old retrobate, you old anarchist, you old crazy son of a bitch? And he went, mommy, mommy. And I thought, wait a minute, if that's Jimmy Peterson, he would have grown up too.
Oh, I like deadpan deliveries like that. There's another comedian,
Stephen
and
Wright.
he's no longer with us. Mitch Hedberg.
I did a lot of drugs back in the day. I still do a lot of drugs, but I used to do a lot of drugs.
An elevator can never break down. It just becomes stairs. Sorry, temporarily stairs.
Temporarily stairs.
Yeah, I stayed in a hotel last night. I can't tell you which one it was, but there were 2 trees involved.
Or Stephen Wright. The other day I was... Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't me. The other day... Oh no. I lost a buttonhole. I love
Just
Stephen
little
Wright.
clever bits like that to see if people are paying attention.
They're probably paying attention.
Yes, I wish I could be that funny on tap like that. I'm not. I'm reactionary humor. I just, be somewhere and something will happen or somebody will say something and something will just pop into my mind all of a sudden. And, if the filter doesn't catch it, it comes out. Most of the time it's funny. Some of the times it's really not. Or people just don't get it. But most of the time it's funny. That's why my wife married me, because I can make her laugh.
Kathy and Christine have a lot in common. Well, you're amusing, and you can juggle, and you look like Jerry O'Connell. Oh, okay. You're just saying that because you like sliders. It's not fair. You don't give me any credit that I sound like Christian Slater. You just like the Jerry O'Connell. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's talented. Stand By Me was great. I'm not knocking him. I just kind of look like him. That's the first time I've ever heard that. But
I don't know if I look like a celebrity. I had one person tell me I look a little like Timothy Hutton, but I don't see it.
like you're Timothy Hutton's older cousin. But I mean,
Yeah, like I was Timothy Hutton from Taps, Timothy Hutton.
Looking like Timothy Hutton's not a bad thing. No.
Yeah, but I just don't see the resemblance myself.
From behind at 1,000 yards, I look like a lot of celebrities.
No one can.
From behind at 1,000 yards, I look like a lot of celebrities at the same time.
That's all right.
That ranks right up there with the story. You know, my ex-wife keeps missing me, and luckily her aim still hasn't improved.
We don't need it to.
It's like, oh.
Well,
Since we're on one-liners, what's the difference between in-laws and outlaws? Outlaws are wanted.
Benjamin Franklin said it. Benjamin Franklin said it best. In-laws are like fish. After 3 days, they start to stink.
Apologies to my mother-in-law because she's awesome. She loves me to death. My wife often says that if we ever split up, I'm getting her mom in the divorce.
With my ex-mother-in-law, Lonnie, I forced it too hard. Like I wanted her so much to like me instead of just letting things happen naturally, and it did not go well. Same thing with the father-in-law, but that's human error, not.
My ex-mother-in-law, the beautiful Sicilian nonna that she is, still tolerates me and allows me in the house, so I consider that to be a win.
That's a win.
I never leave that house with more holes than I walked in with, so that's a good thing.
Nose, mouth, ears, asshole, dick. Okay, we're good. We're good.
That's right. Thank you, Nana, as I crack the door.
Yeah.
I want to see it coming.
I had good parents, so I'm not really, it's not. She was the first mother-in-law that just didn't like me, and that just freaked me out. So it's probably
my previous mother-in-law didn't like me, but I won't speak ill of the dead, even though I could and should with that particular individual.
Yeah.
That'll be another stream for another time. We'll keep it positive.
Well, my ex-father-in-law, it's like he was from a big family. He wanted a lot of kids. Your daughter did not want to get married and did not want to have kids. Not only did I marry her, I brought a kid with me, and then we had one. I should have so many points right now, but I don't. Because I'm me.
Us long-haired reprobates.
Yeah.
The story's a lot deeper than that. I can't go any further because
no.
I don't want to.
I remember I always had long hair like this as a kid. And every time I'd go over to a friend's house for the first time, their parents would freak out about that long-haired kid. Just absolute. And then after 2 days, when they got to know me, oh, that Robbie's so nice. Of all your friends, he's my favorite. You can have him over more. Yes. All my friends would do that. Their parents would fall in love with me after seeing me with the long hair and freaking out.
Yeah,
that would last a couple of days, and then they'd be loving on me.
That guy's a weirdo. He dug up your whole front yard and re-weeded this and did that and that. Can he come over on Saturday? I need help unloading.
That guy's a weirdo, but he brought his own snacks.
Yeah. all damnation, never any praise. You just get used to it. Hi, I'm Bill. Sisyphus, just call me Sisyphus. It's fine. I mean, not the murdery, horrible, awful part in the beginning, but that hill and the boulder, yeah, that's...
See, I haven't been able to be the long-haired guy in decades.
Yeah, you've had short hair for a
So
while.
I had to grow my beard out so I could have long hair again.
Honestly, you should...
Unfortunate.
Go,
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just going to make a Santa Claus crack. You should not touch your beard until after December at this point, since you know that JC gave you the costume already, didn't he? Santa?
Yeah. Oh, I've had it. I got it.
So you should be just like, okay, look, I've got another inch, check it out.
Yep. The only thing I do is I have them take off the really bad flyaways when I go
Let
in.
it go, man. Let it go.
But see, I miss the old days. When I was on the ambulances, I couldn't have the beard, but I had the mustache because we had to wear the big HIPAA masks, so you couldn't have the beard. But I could wear my hair long, so I used to have 3 big Viking braids. And my
My hair
partner,
is too frizzy to braid and do
6'5".
things like that.
My partner was 6'5", so we were literally. That's why they called us Heavy Rescue 52.
Heavy rest.
He's 6'5", 300 pounds. I'm 6'1", 300 pounds, and we come walking into a room. We filled the doorway as we walked in single file, and so we wore our hair long. And there was one point where
You two.
the dude
Squad.
came up to us, and he was the owner of the company wanted all the men to get their hair cut short. And so he had the duty officers and our lieutenants and our captains coming after us. Made the mistake of saying, somebody could grab your hair and pull it and attack you in the back of the ambulance.
Okay.
And my partner walks up to him, and he's looking down on him. And he says, "Go for it." So that pretty much ended that complaint, because we were the ones then that would get the calls when somebody actually tried to rough up one of the female crew members. And you'd hear it go out over the alarm radio. Special call, South Heavy Rescue 52, patient assist. Phew.
I am lucky that at my job, they don't care how you wear your hair or what color it is or what tattoos you have, where. It doesn't matter to them because we're not customer facing. We're in a hangar where nobody can see us, so it doesn't matter what kind of weird trolls they employ there. Now, if I was a gate agent or something like that, I'd have to be the groom master, and that's not me. I'm lucky that, they let me have my long curly locks and don't give me shit about it.
I think
That's what I love about being remote IT. The only customers I have are my team or other IT teams. I don't even have to talk to doctors, nurses, bakers, butchers, candlestick makers. It's IT folks. And most of the other IT folks, if we did turn on our cameras because we're all remote, what are you wearing today? I've got my floppy ear hat on.
and that's it.
We do have to wear uniforms at work, which is good because they pay for them, which means that I don't have to spill nasty crap on my personal clothes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll wash them for you. Thanks for buying them for me. That was at the last thing at the... Oh, they do a laundry service. No, I'll wash them myself. What if the laundry service misses or doesn't deliver, or there's a miscommunication and they don't drop off the stuff? Oh no, they're really good. I'll wash them myself. So.
Well, we wash them ourselves because when you order your uniforms, we don't have a uniform service. We have a uniform allotment, and we every once in a while when we get our allotment, we go onto the uniform website and we order uniforms that come to our house and belong to us. They get mailed to us, and so I keep my own uniforms. I have to do my own laundries, but they provide the uniforms, and they provide them frequently. And those uniforms include things like hats, jackets. I have a really nice cold weather parka that I've only ever used once in the 18 years I've worked at
Wow.
American Airlines. I used it once 2 years ago when I flew back to Wisconsin for a gaming convention, GaryCon, a convention
For
dedicated to Gary
TSR,
Gygax.
yeah.
And it was in March, and it snowed on the mountain in Wisconsin.
Holy crap.
And so, yeah, and they warned that it was going to snow. So I took that jacket with me, and that's the only time I ever wore it.
Oh, at least you got to wear it. I guess.
Yeah, once.
One.
And the only reason they issued it to
Shouldn't
me
do that, John.
is because, the uniform, according to the contract, whatever anybody got issued, everybody got issued. So everybody in Arizona was like, why do I need a 0-degree jacket? But we got one. I don't even wear my rain gear. On rainy days, I don't care. Rain on me. I don't care. This is Arizona. I'm going to come inside, and in 5 minutes, I'm going to be dry.
Yeah.
Period.
Arizona should be studied. We have the most amount of sun devils in the sky. It's just an absolutely weird stop off on the way to LA. I emailed a coworker that sat diagonally in front of me at the very last job I had, and I was letting her know that I got a new job and my situation, and head above, still struggling, but head above water, and she told me that not the supervisor I had when I got fired, but the supervisor before I had, who she was amazing. She's been fired. And the manager that I talked to every day, who was, oh, you're going to do great, when we were close to the same age, they fired him too. And she's like, you wouldn't believe what was going on. They're firing everybody. It's like, well, I wanted to keep that job, but it's kind of vindication to know that out of the 20 people that were around that I got fired, that I guess. I mean, I don't want them, because this sucks. Now they're back in the mix. They got to find another job. They got to go on Monster and Career Builder and ZipRecruiter and Indeed and all the other.
Dread ever losing my job.
Don't, because LinkedIn is a cult. You heard it here first, folks. And all that other crap. And meanwhile, the bank still needs to be paid. So do the utilities. So does everything else. So we're talking about at work, and I wanted to go off on an old man rant. Pessimism is easy. Anybody can lay down and give up. Us, optimism is the true strength of the soul. But they don't want to hear that crap. They're all 30 years younger than me. And I'm the only male,
Be in the now. Don't worry
now.
about the future. Don't worry about the past. Be in the now.
To them, I'm a funny old
it's kind of
uncle,
like my
grandpa, Santa Claus. So okay, whatever you want, ladies. Because the only other two males are the teachers in the class, so.
I have a couple of guys at work that call me the professor.
Nice.
There's one guy, Patrick. He's an older guy. I want to say he's from Philadelphia.
Really?
He's got that Philadelphia accent, and he's like really into hair metal. And so we talk about metal music all the time. And I know so much. He's like, man, you're like the professor of music. And so he started calling me, hey, what's up, professor? Not professor, professor.
I would love to talk to Patrick.
You know what?
Born in Philly,
I might be able to get on sometime. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
He's a crazy old coot.
Nice.
But he loves his hair metal.
He doesn't. I love hair metal. From the
hair metal is metal.
From the Doors and Black Sabbath until whatever the hell they have now. What's it? What? Fozzy?
We're talking about Fozzy is a
scene.
We're talking specifically the genre of music from the early to late 80s. The Wingers and Warrants and Dokken and hair metal. Hair
Rat,
metal, yes.
Helix,
Yes, all of that.
Kicks. There's
Love it,
so
love it.
many, dude. We could sit here all night and name hair metal bands.
I like
Aldo
Lemmy's
Nova.
take on it. Lemmy was a very broad scoped
Rob
individual.
Lemmy is a different breed. Lemmy, Prince, David Bowie, Tom Waits. These are artists that are in their own category. You can't classify them in categories. They transcend category. Is that weird enough for the three of you?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I hope your wife agrees. Rob?
Guys like Dio and when you got the guys out of rock, you could pull those guys in. They could spread across so many different genres, like you
Billy
said,
Joel.
and they could pull it back in, and they could put their touch on it. So you could listen. You could listen to Ronnie James Dio come out, and he could start singing a Nina Simone song, and you would go, "That's a Nina Simone song," but God damn, did he make it something that's all his own? And there's nobody in the world who could ever say he didn't do it. He took it, ran with it, and made it something special, and he paid homage to the originator.
The problem with singers that have epic voices, they're capable of doing any genre, but they're doing what they love. Jeff Tate, Phil Anselmo, David, here, fill in the blanks. Freddie Mercury.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many we'd be here. I mean, we've only got
David Bowie is one of those that he's all over the map because, he is all over the map. I put on a David Bowie Spotify playlist and heard, him singing in French, him singing in Italian, the lounge song Volare. Does a great cover of it. And, whoa, Encanto.
I did the Hollywood Nights version.
Yes.
Yep.
New Bomb Turk.
I mean, Rod Stewart, as he got older, was able to pull in those different genres as well. It was amazing to hear some of the things that he started picking up as he got older because he wanted to take the opportunity and run with it. And he did some amazing things. I was very impressed with some of his jazz and some of his old ballad work that he had done.
Wow.
It's amazing.
73 albums, because I remember Paul was flipping out when Bowie died. Which Paul always, because the movie Pulp Fiction, they say you're either a Beatles fan or an Elvis fan. And I remember Paul having a visceral reaction to that. He goes, "Fuck that, I'm a Who fan." And I know. And then he would start singing Boris the Spider and Happy Jack later, he was always into Bowie, but when Bowie died, it kind of really affected him. And I don't know if that had to do with the aneurysm or his love for the artist. Probably a little of column A, a little of column B. But Bowie is one of those. He's an writer, an actor, an artist, a guitar player, a piano player. He is his own thing. He transcends genres. What's the meme that was out there? He was running around in a dress and everybody was making fun of him. Then a year and a half later, everybody wanted to be him with Gene Genie and all the early songs. But if you're an American, you know him from his music and then Labyrinth. I saw my baby
Yellowbeard.
crying.
Yeah, the cameo on Yellowbeard.
Yellowbeard, yes. Oh my God. He has the fin tied to his back. Thanks, Captain. And he walks off. And then after
But you had
that,
mentioned Prince.
well, he kind of dates Grace Jones for a while. That becomes famous. They have before she, if I remember correctly, because she has a musical career besides her acting and modeling career as well.
I only knew her as a musician until I saw her in the Conan movie.
And then Live and Let Living Daylights.
The Living Daylights, yeah.
Living Daylight. Roger Moore and Christopher Walk. I'm a Bond villain now.
I thought The Living Daylights was Timothy Dalton.
You might
The
be
Living
right.
Daylights and License to Kill were Timothy Dalton.
It's the.
And I watched. Pretty sure The Living Daylights is Timothy Dalton. IMDb.
Damn it! Somebody check it out. You're probably right. I love. Oh, Bond, this Bond, that Bond. Dude, just enjoy the movies. It's a movie. Just enjoy it. Don't get upset. It's not like who gives a shit. They didn't cast the right. I understand. I agree, but enjoy the movie. Chime in here, Rob, Clay, Jingo.
Hold on. I was looking it up. The Living.
Live and let die. Chicken pot pie.
Yes, Timothy Dalton, Mariam Diabo, and Jérôme Krabbe.
So am I thinking of... Which one am I thinking of? Grace Jones and...
A View to a Kill.
Is it? Yes! Because Duran Duran
That was
did
the last
song.
Roger Moore. That was the last Roger Moore Bond.
Can you blame Roger Moore? Dude, this is creepy. I'm
He
starring...
was old.
Yeah.
He was starting to get old.
The girls are as old as my granddaughter. Ew. And even during the movie, he has this face like, okay, I'll kiss you.
Yes. I thought at the time the Timothy Dalton movies were great. I most recently caught some of not the Living Daylights, but License to Kill.
GoldenEye. And...
Movie did not age well. It turns out it was typical 80s schlock. It's worse than you remember it. Don't go watch it again.
No argument. Just enjoy it and have fun. And this was this.
At the time, I thought it was great, but
but in reality, oh my no. So,
I really want Idris Elba to be the next Bond, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not going to get what I want.
There's lots of arguments, but most of the arguments, Connery, David Niven, Sean Connery, because Casino Royale happens before Dr. No. And then
George Lazenby.
And then for a while, he is regarded as the most accurate Bond, but Connery's so fucking cool. Nobody wants to dethrone him. But then, he's being typecast. So then they get Lazenby and Moore, and Moore has all the I'm a spy kind of attributes.
It was over the top. Yeah. It had all the wild gadgets. But it really went in a different direction than the early Bond films.
If you read the books, the main thing about being a 00 is speed. Speed in running, speed in attacking, speed in memorizing, speed in recalling memory, speed in figuring things out, speed in knowing all of these different attributes. Speed is the main thing. You never see Roger Moore fucking run. They don't even have a stunt double that runs for... Dude! He's supposed to be like a fucking Daredevil level superhero. Come on! He's supposed to be fast. You can't be an old man and be a 00 unless you're like teaching at the, hey, I'm Professor 008. So Dalton and then later Pierce Bronson, and this is refreshing. This is more of what 00 is supposed to be. It's closer to the Ian Fleming, Albert.
I've only seen one of the Pierce Brosnan Bonds, but I hear they're all good. It's my wife's favorite Bond. I grew up with Roger Moore, and he was my favorite for a long time. But now, I think I kind of like Daniel Craig. He's not the most
He's
accurate
good.
Bond, but he was the most entertaining Bond to me. He was the most gritty, realistic, believable Bond.
There is a
The crap that happened in those movies was way more believable than the other Bond movies were all over the top, and they were aiming for over the top. So they didn't miss the mark.
Yeah.
But this one was more grounded, and I really liked that about it.
Craig and Lazenby take a more of a, those movies take the Her Majesty's Secret Service and Casino Royale, and they're more of a practical take on the books, as opposed to, back up what you said, the over the top Octopussy and The Spy Who Loved Me, and they're all fun, great movies. Dude, I'll watch them again and again with somebody who's never seen them. But they're not completely with the... Yeah, sorry.
The 80s and the 90s Bonds were the drive-in Bonds. That's what they were really good at for. They were great drive-in films because they drew you in. They were adventures. They were quick. Everything was going on during that film, and you were given just enough time to go get some popcorn and a soda and come back, and then it picked back up again. And that was the drive-in films.
Dude.
When you got into the late 90s and the 2000s, those were the Cineplex Bonds.
Yeah.
Because now I want your butt in that seat. But I have to convince you, rather than paying $4 for 2 movies and a carload of kids, I've got to convince you that $8 is reasonable to sit your happy ass in that seat, drop another $20 at the snack bar, watch this movie without any additional films. So that is where the change came. And I think that's where you saw the storytelling change. And they became more and more involved in wanting to tell the tale and to dive deeper into the characters, as opposed to all the action and the explosion.
I would agree, because Moonraker and Thunderball are the lesser Bond films. Dr. No, The Spy Who Loved Me from Her Majesty's Secret Service, Octopussy, Live and Let Die. These are the higher Bond films because they balance. James Bond is Batman without the suit. Because
more or less.
Action sequence, 00 gets murdered, super action, death. Cut to office in England, MI5, hat being thrown across the room. Morning, Moneypenny. Oh, good morning, 007. M is waiting for you. 007 walks into M's office. Good morning, Bond. Sit down. Here's what we've got going on with the Nazis or the socialists or these radical assholes from this radical asshole area, and now they've become more radical assholes than that. So that would be... There's a formula for Bond. Action, adventure, super explosions, death, murder. This is great. Escape or permanent death picked up by explanation or, oh, thank God you've gotten out of that area. We wouldn't be able to rescue you. You're so well trained. You managed to escape all of them, and now we can move on with the film. So then it's the new dictator or whatever the hell is going on, Spectre or Ajax to Sensus from Octopussy and The Spy Who Loved Me and For Your Eyes Only. And it has a formula where somebody dies or Bond escapes, back to briefing, go to R&D, go to the area, sneaky espionage your way in, meet your operatives that are going to help, get into the area.
You got to put the meet a pretty girl in there.
Ooh, yes, always.
At several points. That's the one thing that changes about Bond is the point at which the pretty girl gets inserted into the story.
Nothing wrong with pretty girls. So they're usually a femme fatale. Normally they're there to fuck up the day. Sometimes they're there to help. And then it's going to a crescendo. There's going to be a climactic downfall of the bad guys, whether it's Blofeld or Dr. No, or dude, pick one. There's so many Bond villains, and they're all awesome because they're the Batman's rogue gallery. They're Spider-Man's villains. They're the X-Men's villains. They're the Fantastic Four or the Avengers or the JLA villains. They're just not in costumes, and they don't have super... Well, Jaws is a cyborg. Odd Job is pretty much Bullseye in a sumo wrestler body.
Yes.
He's a mix of Bullseye and Fisk, basically.
Ooh. Well done. Well done, sir. He is. He really is.
See, the last
I was
one...
talking to the audience. They were asking what we were talking about. A couple of people in chat was like, we're talking about Bond and Bond villains and the difference between the Bond movies and eras.
Bond is Batman.
And how they all kind of follow a formula.
Yeah. The last Bond was the one that really dives into his personal family history that doesn't get spoken about since the George Lazenby days. Lazenby was the one
I don't
where
think
we
I've seen the last one.
Hold on. Well, GoldenEye and Sean Bean and Timothy Dalton, they go into this huge backstory how they were orphans together and got adopted into the service and became into MI5. Now, I don't know how that...
If you look at the Lazenby's is where Bond gets married. He has a wife. His wife and his life is taken from him. The last one, they go back to Bond's familial home.
Really?
And he has to take M to the familial home.
That wasn't the last one. There have been 2 Bond movies since that one.
Okay.
That was Skyfall. There have been Bond movies since that one.
So that one was one then. That was the one. That's the last one that I had experience with. And that one was the one where they really dived into that past history. And that is something that they never really talked about. So this is the old familial stomping grounds. What happened to mom and dad? What happened to grandma and grandpa? Why are we at this place? Oh my God, we thought you were dead. They come to the old man that was keeping the grounds and all the rest of that. And it's, oh, we thought you were dead. Well, they took everything that we had. Well, now, and that's where the famous meme comes from. Sometimes the old ways are the best, and the guy's holding knives to kill the bad guys. So it's kind of interesting. Those are the ones that I like more because they dive into that storyline. They try to bring it back. Now I'm going to take 10 foot tall and bulletproof, and I'm going to show you he's actually human, but he's an angry human.
Yeah. Because in the books, Jaws is not Richard Keel sized. He's like 5'9". He's like a normal dude. Like Bond doesn't even realize that he has a like laced skeleton like Wolverine until he smiles and his teeth are all steel and he's like, oh crap. And he punches him and he's like, oh my God. And that's not going to work. We better go. Yeah. He's not this, towering juggernaut monster. Not that I love Richard Keel from, Moonraker and Spy Who Loved Me to Happy Gilmore. I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's. Hold still, shooter.
Good stuff. The other 2 Daniel Craig James Bond films were Spectre and No Time to Die. Spectre was the one that had Christoph Waltz in it as
great actor.
I believe he was Blofeld. And then No Time to Die, I have not seen that one, which is the last one.
Blofeld, that's who Mike Myers modeled Dr. Evil after. Blofeld is one of the few...
Donald Pleasance version of
Dr. He's one of the... Well, he
There's
survives.
been several different Blofelds. But go ahead.
No, there aren't many. He's the Joker for Bond, as the Joker is for Batman. Even though he ends up killing Blofeld, Blofeld survives for a couple of movies.
Yes, he does.
They have a continuing grievance going on.
Turns out they have the same box number at the comic book store, and they're not happy.
Oh, the cashier at Fry's, this kid who's, well, he's a man. It's wrong to say kid. I'm 54, so everybody's a kid. What are you going to do tonight? Oh, it's podcast night, because I go through his lane all the time, and we talk about. He's a big Zelda fan, which I didn't play as much Zelda as I wanted to, but I didn't own a Nintendo. I didn't. It was, opportunity, and I gotta go to work. I don't have time for this. I gotta have a kid to pay for and a mortgage and everything. Like, it's a podcast night. Oh, you're gonna watch a podcast? No, I'm in a podcast. It's gonna go on tonight. So I pulled out my wallet to pay for the groceries I was buying because it was, Fry's. And I handed him one of the cards you gave me. You do your own podcast. That's awesome. We talk about nerd stuff. Geek culture, baby. It's superior.
We're everywhere.
And everywhere.
All the things that used to get you shunned when we were kids are cool and mainstream. I didn't used to tell people I played D&D because you'd get one or two things that like, isn't that kind of immature or violent, or isn't that satanic?
Yeah. No
Yeah,
way. It's
satanic.
cool. You should try it. And this is why. Yeah, I'm way too much of an extrovert. That's what happened a lot of this. Really? I never thought about it that way.
The same
This
with
kid is
the
right.
comic books. You read comic books? What are you, 12?
No, they're epic stories. They're basically soap operas for boys. Never looked at it that way. Well, I got
Nowadays, it's like, you're 60 years old and you listen to Ghost? I'm like, well, yeah.
You should come around the forge sometime and listen to what we play.
You're this old and you do this? Don't you?
It's like, angry music is my favorite kind of music.
Exactly.
Any other kind? You have listened
Those
to
guys
There are plenty of other kinds, but not for me.
classical is basically your, like Mark Firestone had that awesome shirt in the 90s. The original long hair, loud music. Classical. And on the back was Mozart,
Classic
Beethoven,
with
and he
the
had
original
all,
heavy
and it
metal
was
gods.
Their tour schedule.
Beethoven was the freaking riff master of
Oh
them
my
all.
God, I love Beethoven.
Beethoven was the riff master. Bach was the shredder.
Box.
Mozart was that multi-instrumentalist freak that just pissed you off because he was good at everything.
Before we should do this, Bach is triumph. Bach is technically and mathematically perfect. It's
And
amazing
shred-
music. Just
Shred a pipe
shredding it.
organ.
Yeah. It's Yngwie Malmsteen. It's Slash. It's all of your KK Downings, your Mathis Jabs, all of your best, your Angus. Where Beethoven is
Tony Iommi. He'll come up with an
he's
epic riff
Tony-
that'll just stick in your head.
But Beethoven crosses so many genres. He is the god of Prince and Bowie and Brown and Bootsy Collins and Tony and so many other. Beethoven is your original emo music. Really.
Really, he had such a strange life. He wanted to be nobility, but he wasn't. He adopted Vaughn, which was a noble thing, although he wasn't. And I think, a lot of the music he wrote, you're right, because he was angry or just upset at what life had dealt you.
If you get a chance, get a hold of Immortal Beloved. Gary Oldman plays Beethoven, and it is one of the most amazing betrayal, because we forget that the French Revolution and Bonaparte and all that's happening during his life.
Yeah.
Europe is not a safe place when Beethoven is alive. His father was a fucking drunken maniac that caused his deafness when he was a child by violence. I don't know how censored we're going to get on this.
See, Mozart, when I think of a modern band that I think of Pink Floyd. I think he's a mix of David Gilmour and Syd Barrett and all of that idea and everything that came along with it throughout the decades. That ability to draw you in with just the musical notes. I don't have to give you any lyrics. I just have to play you my tunes. And like you said, Robbie, he could layer those different solos together in such a manner that it grabbed a hold of your mind and your heart. And it took you to places you wouldn't have.
He was a master composer.
Yeah. Mozart and Beethoven are the hardest to put in the box because you're right. Mozart's like Sublime. They're reggae, but they're rock, but they're pop, but they're metal, but they're rap, but they're Spanish, but they're because Mozart is where Beethoven is like Mr. Bungle, or like you can't like fit them in one. Beethoven is emo and death metal and rage and speed, but he's also love, and
he also wrote the Ninth Symphony.
So he's also Queensryche, and he's also AC/DC, but he's some, Soundgarden, but he's also he's the Beethoven and Mozart are the hardest to place in any kind of.
They are, but my favorite composer, who we haven't mentioned yet, Antonio Vivaldi. He's more like Dream Theater.
No argument. I love Dream Theater, and I love Vivaldi.
Vivaldi's my favorite composer. Especially the third movement in Summer. The real short, sharp.
That's a good one.
That is my favorite all-time piece of music, period.
You know who one of my favorite all-time classical composers is what's his name? Rossini. Ladara Rossini, who did The Thieving Magpie. That's one of my favorite pieces of music since I was a small child. And, I mean, he did other stuff, too. That wasn't his only genius breakthrough. But, there aren't a lot of classical composers that I don't like. And even now, our classical music has evolved into movie scores. Yes, there's the soundtrack.
It's still classical music, but it's a music. It's still. Now, there's one classical composer that I've never really kind of vibed with.
Who?
Chopin. I just think to me, most of his stuff is random piano noodling, and it doesn't go anywhere, and it doesn't really grab me. So sorry, I can't get with Chopin.
So he's pop.
I tried
for his period. He's pop, like a commercial jingle. By Menon. Hot Pocket. That's genius, John.
Call 877 cash now.
That's my money and I want it now. Yeah. No, well, I'm not a huge Chopin. Oh my God. He's got a couple good.
No, he's not one of my things.
He's not A-list like Beethoven or most of the others that we listed. And we'll talk about this
also big on Tchaikovsky, although he was much later.
Yeah. Dvorak.
Holst and the like.
So many good ones. We're getting close to the end, boys. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, but I'm bicycling tomorrow, so I'm not going to go late tonight.
I
Gotta
gotta
be up at 4.
I gotta be around
Actually, on
6.
bicycle days, I get up at 3:30 because I want to leave the house early enough to make sure I get to work.
Now that the
Yeah.
AC's out, the cats have been waking me up at 2 a.m. And I let them out of the house because at about that time it's a nice, cold 77 degrees outside. So, man, my sleep schedule was off, but it's summer. We exist because we have to. We thrive because we need to. And we make results because the bills are due. Do you guys have plugs besides Body and Soul Candle?
I do not actually. I will say that every other Saturday over on the Real Women of Gaming channel, I am running Deadlands. We did our first session last Saturday night, and we'll be continuing every other Saturday until they get tired of me.
Oh, for always, check out Lauren Perry at Body and Soul Candles. All of the people that are, she makes amazing scented candles. I know it's only the middle of May, but Christmas will be here before you know it, kids. So check out Body and Soul Candles. Thank you, Lauren. Did we have anything else? Go check the Pete's Hot Rod Truck and Ranch. He's got a lot of stuff out there. I'm trying to sell my 48 panel truck and my 1946 two-door Super Deluxe 6 sedan because I need the money. So, Facebook is kind of bending me over because I put 2 dryers that I acquired through life and they flagged them and they're like, prove you're you! Okay, this is my phone number. You already have it on file. You're not you. No, I'm me. Try again later. So now it's been 3 days and fuck Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook. You're not the customer. You're the product.
Yep.
Rob?
Pretty much.
Oh,
St. Mary's, because I found out that Mary volunteers at St. Mary's Food Bank.
that's cool. Yeah, St. Mary's Food Bank can always use help. If you're not in the Phoenix area, check out your local food banks. The other one is we in Arizona in the Southwest. We are in the throes of wildfire season. The Eric Marsh Foundation is out there helping injured and fallen wildland firefighters and their families. If you're of a mind, check out their website. If you can donate, please do. If you can't donate, share their information so that the word can get out there. Hopefully, we can help them to continue the great work that they do. 2 wonderful organizations that put everyone else ahead of themselves in an effort to try and make their part of the world that little bit better.
Thank you. Yeah, please do everything you can. Oh, Mr. Wiggles needs love, apparently. Hello, buddy. He's a giant Mancoon cat. So the Eric Mark Foundation, St. Mary's Food Bank, Body and Soul Candle. Was it Women in Gaming?
The Real Women of
Real.
Gaming.
Excuse me.
Twitch TV/Real Women of Gaming.
Do your best to go out and support your local groups because, I mean, that's how they get bigger. Thank you for watching the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. Are we ending this? Because, I mean, it's 8 o'clock. And...
Yes, I think we are done.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Stay geeky.
And stay geeky.
You could have watched
and see us next Tuesday. Yep, as he said. But you watched us.
Yeah. We thank you. Thank you.
He's
so
stepping on
much.
Bill. Sorry.
No, I don't look at it as that. I look at it as a combined. We can all do the ending, the intro. I'm not. It's a council, not the Bill show, not the Rob show, not the. It's us.
All right. Anyways, good night, all. Good
night,
and stay geeky.
Stay geeky. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Gentlemen, always
I'm
a
off.
pleasure. Thank you so much. And, yeah, enjoy tomorrow, kids.
All right. Have a good night,
So-
Bill.